Welcome in Week 10 roster the people, Jason and Neil. How's it going, Neil?
It's going all right. How you doing, Jason?
It's another day, man. This has been a weird week. I started off with jury duty, so since then, it's gone uphill. You got that legal obligation that you have to show up where they allegedly will arrest you, and I didn't want to risk it, so I just went with it and hoped for the best.
Probably best. Probably don't want to get arrested. Not for that. There are more fun and creative ways to get arrested.
Yeah,
that's
just
all
mildly.
boring. Yeah, that's all boring.
Just because of paperwork. Oof.
Yeah, not worth getting arrested over not going to jury duty. They're probably not going to arrest you. They probably just fine you. But if you voted, then they know where you live. So
yeah, it's like they have all of your personal information. So
yeah, they know exactly where to come get you.
Know what you're driving. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
That'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, so while I was doing that, Chiefs, Bengals, Titans, and Cowboys all went on bye this week. So they're off. You're lucky enough you got to listen to the New Heights that popped out my feed this morning. Listen to that. It's fine. Those guys are interesting enough, I guess, but can always tell when there's a bye week.
Yeah, I don't know. I find that kind of boring. So it's not really.
they're
really
entertaining, that's for sure.
Not really my thing, but sure, I know people like it, so that's all fine. The big thing, bigger than that, was that probably a bigger headline of what was going on while you were dealing with jury duty was the NFL trade deadline has officially come and gone. So that's a big deal, considering it was it tied for the second most trades ever done? Yeah, I believe there were eight trades were done in the actual NFL yesterday. And I believe that there was only one time there were more, and that was 10, and that was like forever ago. So a lot of trades, some of them interesting. Most of it not really fantasy relevant. Couple things. I know selfishly that you were excited that the Chargers actually managed to go through the couch and find some nickels.
Yeah, at least one. I would have liked a center a lot more than getting offensive guard Trevor Penning.
Just not a lot of people available, man.
I know, man. I know,
just
but
not a lot of offensive linemen available, like in general. So
getting him, it was a pleasant surprise. I mean, I'd give us a solid B for that. Finding something.
Yeah, it's something. Considering Joe Alt is now on IR, is he done for the year, or is he just on IR?
He's done for the year. So
kind of
don't have him and don't have Slater. So hopefully next year.
Yeah. Well, that'll be fine. I mean, this year, they're still going to the playoffs. That's not enough injuries to derail that at this point, more than likely.
Well, as long as Herbert can stay upright, find those targets, get that ball out quick, he'll be okay.
The big fantasy trade. The biggest trade by far was the Sauce Gardner trade. I am still stunned that I'm not even stunned by the price tag. I'm just stunned that someone paid it.
Yeah.
Like 2 first rounders sounds about right, but the fact that you actually got it and someone was willing to do it is kind of shocking. It tells you where the Colts think they are at this point. They must think they think their window is firmly open at this point.
They want to win. They're right there.
Well, it's also kind of a referendum on Richardson, because given where this is at, that experiment's probably over. So that's probably the end of that conversation, it seems like, more than likely. So we'll see where that goes, but they paid 2 first-round picks plus to get Sauce Gardner, which is kind of just staggering that they were willing to pay the price. The biggest offensive trades were a little bit, which are relevant for fantasy, are a little bit less impactful than that, obviously.
Those were all over the place.
Well, the Jacoby Myers one was funny.
Yeah,
because Well, we just got done telling someone on a roster resolution that he was droppable, and then literally the next day he ends up on a new team. So we had to get the inevitable question of, is he still droppable? And it's like, he's less droppable. Like, he's still kind of droppable depending on that person's specific situation. But in general, it's an upgrade from Myers. It's not a huge one, but it's at least something. The problem is that by the time he actually learns the playbook and can really meaningfully contribute, I don't know. We're just gonna have to see what he can do, because at this point it's like he's going to a new team. This always happens when wide receivers get traded. It takes several weeks for them to like learn the new system and develop a rapport with the quarterback. So for anyone who's thinking, oh, well, that's just going to be a huge jump for Myers, I'm not totally sold on that. His value goes from nothing to
More
still
than nothing.
nothing.
Slightly
It's
more
still
than
pretty
nothing.
much, still pretty much nothing. So it doesn't do a whole lot. It's more, I think, a hedge about BTJ is probably pretty hurt, and Hunter's on IR. So it's kind of like, what do you do in that situation? But it was a 4th and a 6th in 2026, which tells you that the Jags aren't unserious about it. What is slightly dampens that is if you go through how many draft picks Jacksonville actually had in the 2026 draft. All they traded was their extra 4th and their extra 6th. So they went from having 2 4ths and 2 6ths to now just having 1. And it's like, well, what did we really give up here? Because it's not like it changes anything about Myers' situation contractually. He's still a free agent at the end of the year. So it's not that impactful from a draft capital perspective. Like, it's kind of a Band-Aid for Jacksonville is how I'm looking at that. It's a Band-Aid. Jacksonville needed something. They got something. Doesn't really move the needle too much for fantasy other than elevating Myers from droppable, like not really wide receiver 40, like fringe droppable in 10 team, borderline droppable in 12 to, all right, goes from 40 to 38. Maybe it's something if he can learn the playbook in a reasonable time frame. I expect they'll have him out there this week and they'll have some kind of limited package for him, but I don't know. Does it do much for you? That didn't do much for me. And I saw Steve didn't have too much positive to say about it either.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see just because they do need another body. And the other thing that I'm kind of want to bring up just because it is somewhat relevant is the fact that also Brenton Strange should be coming back soon.
Theoretically, yeah.
So for what that's worth, they are going to, and that's kind of what I expected Myers to kind of go in and do is take over for that. But with Brenton Strange potentially being back at some point in the near future, now that it's been over the 4 weeks, this window should be open. But it'll be very interesting to see how that works out. But they do, if he can slot in and just catch balls, I think they'll be pretty happy with that. At this point, the Jaguars look like a solid team. And if they could just have somebody that would actually catch it regularly, it's a boost to the offense. So makes Trevor Lawrence a little more usable because he's not throwing bad balls. They're just getting dropped constantly, unfortunately, for him. And that's tough.
Yeah, they needed to do something. They were just running really light on offensive talent. So that's all. So they did something there. And then the other one on the offensive side that's worth noting was Rashid Shaheed getting traded to Seattle. Similar kind of idea. He's been available. I mean, they've made no secret about that, Like, that's not news. He's been available for quite a while. The Saints are conducting a fire sale at this point because why wouldn't you?
They've sold a lot of things at the trade deadline.
Well, he's on the last year of his deal. And so it's like, is Rashid Shaheed enough to fix all the problems the Saints have? Not even close. So it's what I find frustrating about it, though, is that's like a death blow to Rashid Shaheed's fantasy value. It's kind of the end of it, as far as I'm concerned, because now you've got a situation where he's going to show up Not going to know the playbook. Not going to know the. They're not going to have anything built for him. He's going to have to do all the same things I just went through with Jacoby Myers. Except his run-in is probably shorter because I have a feeling that his job is going to be to run down the field in a straight line with his arm up for them, primarily.
Well, the good news,
so
we have to bring that up, is that Sam Darnold actually has really good on-target deep balls right now.
He does, but
that is a benefit.
Sure, but they have to trust him enough to throw it to him, and it's a situation where it's like, what do you do with any of that?
He's
Not
been doing
much,
it,
to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's because they don't have any other choice. Whereas the Seahawks definitely do. They have two different tight ends they can throw the ball to. They have JSN, who's a target monster. If anything, the Rashid Shaheed thing helps JSN.
Yeah.
Because it prevents the bracket cover on him. So you can't cheat the safety to JSN all night and try to put a corner on him and then bracket cover him with the safety, because Rashid Shaheed will just be open at that point down the field. And we've seen that for a long time. Like, he's good enough to do something with that. So that's good for Seattle. It's a really good real football move for Seattle. It didn't cost you much. Even if you don't keep him, it's fine. But it's like they had Torrey Horton who was doing stuff. Like, I just think they're going to continue to feature JSN and then they'll spread the ball around. So, like, they basically got Rashid Shaheed to do the job they were hoping MVS could do, who couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. They got younger MVS. And that's how I think that's what they think they're going to do with it. Is I want someone to do what I was hoping Marquez Valdes-Scantling could do for me, and which is run down the field and take the top off the defense, which he'll do. But I'm not holding out a whole lot of hope here for Rashid Shaheed's fantasy value the rest of the year. We'll reassess next year. We'll see where he signs and where he lands, but I think it's a pretty devastating hit to his value.
Yeah, I think also makes me a little more nervous for Horton, just because I do think he's going to be out there more than we expect, and that always makes me more nervous.
It's bad for everyone that's not JSN.
Yeah,
from fantasy, it's bad for everyone that's not Darnold and JSN. They win, everyone else loses. That help, and it helps the Seahawks. Doesn't help your fantasy shares if you have Rashid Shaheed, because he's basically relegated to emergency use only, especially with the buys as we truck through the buys. But yeah, not a whole lot on the offensive side. And then I guess I'll mention it. AD Mitchell was part of the Sauce Gardner trade. That does nothing for me or anyone.
Yeah, because Chad brought it up, so I was definitely making sure you saw that. AD
Mitchell's fantasy outlook is the same as what it was, which is nothing.
I mean,
remains unchanged.
At least this year. We'll see if he does anything.
I'm not talking about Dynasty. Okay. For Dynasty, it's actually significantly worse.
Oh gosh.
For Dynasty, he was worth nothing, and now he's worth somehow less than that. Because now he goes to a Jets team that has 1 million picks over the next couple rounds. So enjoy that, AD Mitchell. You get to be the Band-Aid for as long as they want to keep a Band-Aid. And then that's probably it for his time there. So it's actually like a devastating long-term blow to AD Mitchell's career in a lot of ways. And that's kind of what it is. So, but that's Dynasty. In redraft, it literally changes nothing. Like, he was not worth anything, and now he's still worth nothing. So that's what it is. I mean, feel free to disagree with me, but what hope do you have for anyone on that team? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I keep trying to look for silver linings, and it's difficult because, I mean, we had so much hope for that first week, and it just it went away very quickly.
You talk about yourself. You talk about yourself. You talk about you. I was not part of that in any way, and have been an AD Mitchell hater.
I mean, he filled in nicely when Pierce was out. He had a couple long shots, and he's really good at that. He's like a less effective MVS. Does that count? Is that a thing?
That's terrible. That's less than nothing. That's more insulting than anything I've said. That's significantly more insulting than anything I have said at any point about this. My point is that yeah, long term it's devastating for him in Dynasty, and then short term it's not good. Like there'll be some opportunities for him, but what opportunities will he be able to enjoy with Justin Fields as his quarterback? And Garrett Wilson is still coming back. The only thing the Jets said is that Garrett Wilson is untouchable, and I believe them. Because why would you try to get out of that contract? He's like your only quality offensive player that is worth holding on to. Like you could build your team around it. So you got to hold on to something, and I think that's very loudly been their choice. I still can't fathom why Breece Hall is still on that team. That befuddles me in a very real way. But
they weren't getting what they wanted. Clearly, they were
yeah. They decided to hold on to it, but
because my understanding is that the Chiefs were offering a fourth and they wanted a third.
Yeah, feels like I'd probably want a fourth too, or a third too, but it is what it is because he's coming up on the end of his contract and he's going to hit free agency. So I could see why the Chiefs are like, why would I overpay for this?
Especially when they're just
either way
they are.
Yeah, it didn't happen. So didn't happen. Not gonna happen. He's gonna play the rest of the year as a Jet. But as far as the offensive moves that did happen, I started with the silver lining. It was Jakobi Meyers. The rest of it is not good news for the individual players involved. It changes the situation around them, but yeah, it's really not good for Shaheed. But at least he gets out of that at the end of the year and gets the chance to go taste free agency. A.D. Mitchell is stuck there on a bad team with 1 million first-round picks that needs everything, and maybe he can have some value as a secondary wide receiver for them in the future. But what did I just say? Like, you're going to have a new quarterback. You're going to have all new everything. It's not great. It's a bad look. And like, I don't hate Mitchell, the football player. He's fine. I hate Mitchell, the fantasy prospect. It's never been a good landing spot. It's never been a good fit at any point in his career to this point. And he suffers because of it. It was bad when he went to the Colts because they already had too many mouths to feed. And I get why they wanted him because he's a scheme fit there. But you'd have to unseat someone, and they didn't do it. And then now he goes to the Jets, which have like infinitely more problems. So yeah, he might get more playing time short term, but like, to what end? Like, it's not. I'm not expecting an Eric Decker 2012 season. Okay. Does anybody remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, highly unlikely.
Bueller. No one remembers Ryan Fitzpatrick and Eric Decker that one year. No. Okay. I'll shut up. But there you go. That's the trade roundup as far as fantasy goes. Frankly, the impacts are more. The impacts were more around. I thought the biggest impact to fantasy, maybe not the biggest, but one of the biggest impacts to fantasy was that the Chargers actually like did something. Because I'm not used to that.
I'm excited to have, like I said, Penning was somebody I was actually looking at when he was in the draft. So it was interesting that he is now on the team for a pay cut. But if we can get both our tackles back and have him, I feel a lot better about that team next year.
Well, you could move him to guard.
Yeah, where he's effective.
He's going to play tackle. He's going to play tackle this year. There's no way out of that. You don't have any tackles. So
yeah,
he's going to play tackle. I don't know which side, but he's playing tackle the rest of this year. But if you can keep him, then yeah, you could rotate him to guard next year. And at that point, his contract actually is about like what you pay a guard. So that made a lot of sense. And what did you give up? A 6th round pick? It's like, cool.
Yeah.
Like that.
I'm fine with that.
Like, yeah, what are you going to get in the 6th round? Like, not much. So that's the trade roundup from yesterday. Sadly for fantasy, it was kind of a nothing burger in a lot of ways. For non-fantasy, it was crazy. Like, for non-fantasy related stuff, that was one of the craziest trade deadlines in my lifetime. That was nuts. Especially the Sauce Gardner thing. Literally can't believe they paid that. I was like picking my jaw up off the floor where I was like, the crazy fools actually gave them 2 first-round picks. I can't believe they did it. People talk about it, but they actually had the guts to do it. It's shocking.
Well, and then I was
So-
surprised because, of course, Jerry Jones is running his mouth and talking about has his blockbuster trade, and the first thing I see is Logan Wilson. I'm like, you are high. Like, if that's your blockbuster trade, nope, not the answer you're looking for. But ended up being that they were getting the defensive edge from the Jets. I can't think of the guy's name. I can't think of it.
You okay?
Nope, my brain's not working. Quentin Williams. Golly.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like I kept wanting to say Demarius. I'm like, nope, that's not the right person. He
You
went somewhere
confused me so badly with how you started it that I'm like, "What's he talking about?"
But
Like, I don't know who he's talking about.
yeah. So, anyways, that was again. It was just interesting to see that it wasn't Logan Wilson because that's what I thought it was initially when I saw it. I'm like, you got to be joking me. This is the trade. But more importantly, Chad Corey asked Pierce or Washington and Stannard. Parker Washington. For reference. Which I get.
Hold on.
So
We skipped. We talked about before you do that. We talked about Chad's question around what do we think about 80s fantasy outlook, and we covered that. He also wanted to know do you play Pierce or Parker Washington in standard?
that's what I asked.
And was that the question you asked? I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I was just finishing it.
That's fine. Parker Washington this week because Jacoby Myers is going to take a couple weeks to get situated. So you're fine there to roll out Washington this week.
Yeah, I'm also a little iffy on Pierce because they're traveling to Berlin. So I agree. It is Parker Washington this week.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And Michael Leone. So now that CJ Stroud is out, that concussion is serious. Is it better to start the Jags defense or the Panthers defense?
I'll tell you. Let me see.
Jags or Panthers? I still have the Panthers higher.
I have the Panthers at 7. It's going to be really hard to talk me off the Panthers. It's a bad defense, but that team is trash. What's left of it in New Orleans. It's real bad.
Yeah, and they just gave up Penning. So it's gotten...
They gave up Penning. You don't have your wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
So you're losing Penning and your wide receiver 2, and you're gonna rely on
Olave, Jawan Johnson.
Tyler. You're gonna rely on Shaw.
Yeah.
And the ghost of Alvin Kamara. What's left of it?
And
I love
Devin Neal?
Alvin Kamara, but why? No. Are they going to use him, or are they just going to give it to the ghost of Alvin Kamara? Because that's what they've been doing, is just giving it to the ghost of Alvin Kamara, because they keep saying if he doesn't get what he wants, if they don't keep giving him the ball and they don't play him, he's just going to retire. So there's nothing left. Is the answer to the question. So there's nothing left, and roll the Panthers, even though it's a division game. Let's go to the next question.
All right. Evening, Daniel. PPR need a 1 running back and 2 flex among Dobbins, Monty, Allen, and QJ. That seems like everybody. I guess you're not playing one of them.
Yeah, you're not playing one, so we're sitting one of these.
And it's gonna be QJ.
Probably.
It is for me. I understand he scored, but that was also with Alt back in. He had a little more time in the pocket, and it still took a touchdown for QJ to be fantasy relevant. So.
Yeah, I'll sit QJ in favor of Allen. That's the decision for me: is do you play Keenan Allen or do you play QJ? And I'll sit QJ as opposed to Allen.
And then needs a tight end and a flex between Fannin, Kincaid, DJ Moore, Knight, or Benson, or Marks.
Well, the tight end is Kincaid.
Yep.
So then it's just picking a flex between one of my other options here.
Yep.
All right.
So I would either say it's going to be Moore or Marks for me.
It's probably going to be more.
I would agree, but I was double checking my ranking.
Yeah, I'm gonna play more. I just looked it up.
I agree. So for that, we're going to go Kincaid and Moore. Then PPR pick 4. Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Josh Downs, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Mason,
3,
Harvey, or Tez.
So we're picking half. Half of these get to play?
Yep.
Cool. Keenan Diggs Downs immediately. That's all in.
Things.
It might be easier just to say what I would not play. Honestly,
I would not play Mason.
I'm not. Yeah, Mason's not ever.
I'm iffy on playing Downs honestly this week too.
Well, the problem is that like it's kind of too early for this because like I don't have enough Chargers. Excuse me. I don't have enough. I would love some additional practice reports.
Yeah, it was very slim.
I would love some more practice reports here because some of this is going to get whittled down.
Yeah.
Because we don't know exactly who is playing in Tampa.
And that is the issue.
So that's
Johnson would be somebody that I'm playing for sure if we knew
depending
that
on
Chris Godwin's out.
Yeah, if Chris Godwin's ruled out and Bucky Irving's ruled out, I feel better about playing Tez Johnson. But we don't know that. We're going to have to wait on like 2 more days of practice reports to get there. Well, I can tell you that.
And I'm probably going to play Harvey. So for me, it's going to be Allen, Diggs, Tez, and Harvey pending practice reports.
Yeah, I don't know about the Harvey thing.
And again,
see, the thing about the Harvey, that's that, but you also got to wait. Well, it's not so much. I'm sorry, I phrased that backwards. You got to make that decision tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which eliminates your ability to wait. And it's like, do I feel strongly enough about Harvey doing something tomorrow night that I'm willing to like go for that? He's on the bubble. It's like the ones that I feel good about are Allen and Diggs are playing.
Yep.
There's no way you're sitting that. Those two for sure are 100% playing. But then it's like it gets interesting quickly because we still are waiting on practice reports for AJ Brown, which matters in this context because I can tell you that I'm already leaning towards playing Devonta Smith anyway. So it's like it gets kind of nasty. So I'll answer the question based on the information I have. I'm going to play Allen, Diggs, Smith, and Downs is what I'm going to play on Wednesday. That's my answer. If I get more practice reports, we could revise that. But I'm going to play the first 4 is what I'm going to play.
Yeah, I've been like shocked at the limited amount of practice reports that have come out. I mean, there's been some stuff, but it hasn't been nearly as much as I was expecting. I just expected more.
Government shutdown, man. Nobody's reporting nothing these days. Too real? Sorry. Too real? My bad. But yeah, like Goddard, and see, that's the thing. Like Goddard, Harvey, and Johnson are all like on the bubble for consideration. They are. So I get the question because they are right there. But I want more practice reports from a couple different teams. So Daniel, since you got to make a decision tomorrow, I would tell you that I don't feel strongly enough about playing Harvey to play him. I would wait because the rest of these decisions can be made after I get more information on Friday. That's how I'd approach it. Harvey's a decent play, but you've got better ones, so I'd probably be willing to let him go on Thursday night. And if he goes off, he goes off. It's fine.
All right, on to the next one. Picking 1 tight end, PPR, Andrews, Kincaid, or Otten? Kincaid.
Kincaid, yeah.
Then picking 2, Waddle, DK, Odunze, Jennings, or Warren?
Waddle and and Odunze, I believe, is what I'm going to go with. Yeah, I got Odunze at 25. I got
I'm not
Waddle at
sure.
21.
I thought DK might be higher, but let me double check.
I've had to lower DK. He's been disappointing. It's not his fault. It's the team he plays for.
I
The
actually.
team he plays for sucks. Always has been. Always has done my whole life. Except for even when they're winning Super Bowls, they still suck.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually Waddle and Odunze. I know.
Yeah.
Odunze has been frustrating, guys. We understand that. You can't, unfortunately, sit him.
If you're gonna overreact to that, I'll take all your Odunze shares from you. That's fine. You can get mad, and I'll give you something.
All right.
I'll give you candy. I'll give you candy. You want my leftover Halloween candy? I'll take Rome Odunze and then get money at the end of the year. It's like Jason. The man got hurt. It's not like he was out there the whole day, and they just weren't giving him the ball. The man got hurt. Okay, like there's a big difference between him getting hurt and then having to sit down in a game. In like that game never should have gone that way. The Bears are very frustrating in that regard. They should have won that game handily and found new and exciting ways to blow it up. Now I will tell you, I will give you one thing, Daniel, which is even if I didn't want to play Rome Odunze, let's say I'm afraid and I don't want to play Rome Odunze because he's still questionable. I'm still not playing DK. I'm playing Warren. I guess it does matter which Warren.
Yeah,
it would matter
Warren.
slightly which Warren. No, if it's the other Warren, I'm much more interested. If it's Jalen Warren, I'm interested because yeah, it's not a great matchup, but they'll throw him a million dump offs because that's what they do.
That and random tight ends.
I would play Waddle and Warren. That's why they have 3 random tight ends on the team because that's what they like. Gets them all fired up. Gets them all antsy in the pantsy. They love it. They know what their fan base likes. But it's Waddle for sure, and then it's Rome Odunze for me. If that's Jalen Warren, he'd be my 3rd choice, followed by DK as my 4th choice, and I would only play Jennings in some sort of emergency situation, given those other options.
All right, sounds good. Pick a quarterback, Herbert or Dart.
Oh, Dart! I have Dart so high this week.
I have Herbert.
Actually,
they're right next to each other.
No, yeah, I have them both. I have them both super high, actually. I'm gonna assume 4-point passing touchdown.
It just says PPR, so I'm guessing.
Yeah, which is very funny, and I appreciate that you get the show, but it's actually a tough one. That's toughy. I do have them right next to each other. I have Herbert at 4 and Dart at 5. I'm going with Dart. It's a better matchup.
Yeah,
Chicago secondary is atrocious.
I have Dart barely ahead, but yeah. And then wide receiver between BTJ and Wandale. I think you kind of have that
decision's gonna get made for you. You don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, you're going to be playing Wandale.
BTJ ain't playing that game. No chance. He's got a high ankle sprain, folks. He ain't playing.
Yeah,
and then
he's not a quarterback that's able to kind of sit back in a pocket and only has
He's also been playing like crap, so this is probably a convenient time to just sit him down and see if that helps. You got a convenient excuse to give him a little bit of time off to go see if they can fix what's wrong with his brain. Half PPR pick 2: Mason, Henderson, Singletary, Gainwell, and Njoku.
I think the only thing I really want to say is Njoku.
Never Mason. I am gonna play. I am gonna play Njoku and Henderson only because I do not believe that Ramondre is gonna play. So of them all, that's my choice.
Yeah, I mean,
they're the 2 that have jobs.
Well, Singletary has a job.
He has half a job.
Still count. It's the Bears.
Still half a job. I'm gonna play Henderson and Njoku. I've made my decision. You make yours.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably Henderson if he gets a full job, but if he's splitting, I'd then go to Singletary.
Oh yeah. Okay, sure. I'll do that with you. I'd couch that way. I just am convinced that there's no way Ramondre Stevenson plays this game.
I understand
Didn't
that,
practice all week last week. Got shut down. Hasn't practiced yet at any point this week.
But in the off case it happens, the one thing for sure you're playing Njoku.
Yeah, on the off chance that he did play, the miracle, whatever miracle recovery would need to occur to his ankle that would allow Ramondre to play, I agree. I would flip it and I would play Singletary.
All right. Then Chubb or Singletary? PPR.
That's probably just Singletary, right?
Yeah. I don't like how they've been using.
I don't really. I have Singletary one spot higher than Chubb because there's two reasons for that. One is Chicago, and two, Chubb is still questionable. I think he's going to play, but
yeah, beat up
a little
for
nervous. A little nervous.
All right, then half PPR, 2 wide receivers and a tight end. Diggs, Wandale, Allen, Ertz, Juwan. Well, Juwan's definitely playing. Speaking of things that are still left for the Saints, Juwan Johnson.
What does that mean? You're saying you're going to play Juwan Johnson? Is that your statement there? Because.
Yep. And then.
All right, you do that. You have fun with that. I'm playing Ertz.
Diggs and Wandale.
I gotta look where I have Wandale. It's that one's kind of close. I'm gonna play Wandale. It's gonna be Diggs and Wandale and Ertz for me on that one.
Yeah, I just don't know. Well, I don't know if I want Diggs or if I want Allen. Those are both good options. I trust Allen a little more, but that team, it's a mess. So I'm probably going to go Diggs, Wandale, and Juwan. So difference of an opinion for tight end.
I'm not playing any Saints. So we're gonna.
Nah.
You'd have to be in dire straits to want to play any Saints this week, especially after what we saw last week, because that did not look good. That did not look like anybody's answer to anything, and it, more importantly, did not look like the type of problem that was going to be fixable. And so removing a ton of the personnel that would have been critical to fixing it probably isn't going to fix it better. So I'm not a big fan of playing any Saint this week. If I had to play Olave, I will, but beyond that, it's pretty ugly pretty quick.
All right. PPR, tight end again, Andrews, Juwan.
That's an interesting one. I like how we split that last week, and then Andrews scored. I laughed because I was like, Andrews is going to score just to irritate you.
Yep.
And he did.
Yep. Multiple times. Literally, his 2 passes were for touchdowns.
Yep, and I'm also going to annoy you by saying that we're going to go ahead and go back to that well, because I was right last week, and I'm going to be right again.
Yeah, I'm still going to
play. All right. You have fun with that. If you do that, don't watch the game. And then a flex.
Who's watching the Saints? That's more.
People in Louisiana.
Maybe. Is college football still on? No, college basketball is, though. They're probably going to watch college basketball.
No one watches college basketball.
Whoa.
We have the empirical data on that. No one watches college basketball. They watch the NCAA March Madness tournament, and that's all they watch.
All right, picking a flex.
I'm right. You know I'm right about this. I am objectively correct about that. Where's Steve when I need him? Steve will get on. I'll get Steve on here. Talk about that. Tracy.
Singletary.
Tracy.
Knight, Tucker.
Yeah, Tracy. We're gonna play Tracy.
Oh, you don't believe in Tucker with out Jacoby now?
I never believed in Tucker and probably never will. So, is
Yeah.
Geno Smith gonna be playing quarterback? Then no. Because I believe in Brock Bowers if Geno Smith is playing quarterback, and I believe in Genty, but that's as far as that goes. We did it. The Raiders have 2 fantasy pieces again. Because with Bowers back, it means Genty doesn't have to do everything. So there you go. They don't need Myers.
Yeah.
They proved that. What's Myers doing for you? Standing there? He doesn't do nothing. They're just going to throw it to Bowers a million times until they get him hurt. And it's the same thing with Genty. They're just going to run him until his legs fall off, and that's their whole offense. Nothing else matters.
All right. Well, I agree. It's gonna be Tracy.
Maybe Jack Besh will get some targets.
Yeah. I don't know about that either.
Seems unlikely. But I'm gonna play Andrews and Tracy off that list.
And Joanna and Tracy for me. Okay. Michael Leone. Kamara, Jones, Knight, DeMarcado, PPR, and any news on Benson? He's not at practice yet.
Benson's not at practice yet, so I'd say you probably got a couple more weeks on that one. And then you have like a real terrible conundrum here.
Yeah. Yep. Don't like it.
So, because the people I want to play are all hurt. So, there's no universe where you could ever tell me that you know what the split's going to be in Arizona. It's like not really knowable. So, I'm going to hurt so bad to do it, but I'd probably just play Kamara, as ugly as it is, just because if I'm going down, I'm going down with what I know. Because okay,
it would be Jones, except for he's dealing with injury.
That's the problem. I would play Jones, no brainer, off that list if I thought he was going to play this game, but I don't think he's going to play this game. That's the problem. And what's messed up about that is, even if Aaron Jones gets ruled out, I still don't trust Mason because he's just looked terrible this year. He can't find the hole. He looks slow.
And Ravens are healthy on defense.
Yeah, for the first time in all year. But so I understand getting roasted by Alvin Kamara last week, probably, and not wanting to go back to that well. And so it's like, well, normally I just got done saying I wouldn't play any Saints. I probably wouldn't play any Saints in this case, but I don't have any other option really that I trust because Jones, I think, gets ruled out. If he doesn't get ruled out, play Jones. It's not close. It's easy. It's an easy one. Like, but the problem is that I don't think Jones is going to play. I think they're going to rule him out. And then there's no way to know what the split will be between Knight and DeMarcado. And it's so utterly maddening that, like, you're talking about a 5 and an 8 in PPR. I just don't know who gets the 5 and who gets the 8 because they keep flip-flopping. So given that, I'm probably just going to play Kamara because Kamara actually has a decent matchup. And I'm hoping that maybe the idea is that they'll just give him the stupid ball over and over again, like old Alvin, like the old way this used to work. But this is all bad. I don't feel confident in what I just said because they haven't been doing that all year. And Kamara is also on the injury report. So I don't know what to tell you.
Not getting anything better.
What do you think, Jason? You gonna play Kamara?
If Jones is healthy, he's the one that I want to play. Or if he plays even, if he's busted and plays, I will play Jones.
If he's playing, I don't care about how healthy he is. I'm talking about is he out there? Is he getting cleared to play? I'm playing him. That's it. I don't have any other follow-up questions.
Okay.
Like it's not about healthy because I know he won't be healthy. He hasn't been healthy in years. But if he is healthy enough that they will let him go attempt to play this game, I'm starting him off this list. But let's assume that that's not an option and he gets ruled out because I think that's where this is headed. What's your other choice?
It's probably Kamara, but I don't like it.
No one likes it. It's just no one likes it. It's all bad.
You know what I'd actually... Well, no, I don't like that either. Never mind. I'm just kidding. That sounds like an even worse idea. I was about to say, go get Terrell Jennings.
I was actually going to bring that up. So I was going to say, you know what I would do? I would wait until Ramondre got ruled out officially, and then I'd probably just pick up Terrell Jennings. And I'd feel dirty about it, but I'm only doing that if Ramondre gets ruled out, by the way, and assuming he's still available, which he probably would be. He's not worth anything if Ramondre is not ruled out.
Yeah.
But if Ramondre is ruled out, I mean, we're there. We're at that point where it's like, yeah, throw a dart. Maybe you'll get lucky. Because the problem is Kamara is one awkward tackle away from leaving that game and possibly getting IR'd now that the trade deadline's over. And the problem with Knight and DeMarcado is you're either going to get a 5 or you're going to get an 8, depending on who you play, and I have no idea how that works. It's probably the reverse of last week. Knight got the 5, and DeMercado got the 8. That's just what this is going to be for the foreseeable future. And I'm sorry, but yeah, we have no meaningful Benson update yet.
Yeah, sorry. We wish. I definitely wish we saw they would have practice or anything, but they gave me nothing. No, not even a window open yet. So.
Oh, nothing. Yeah, nothing.
All right, that dude named Billy is the manager of Jones and Stafford. Does he start Stafford or find a way to pick up Dart? I would prefer Dart.
I would prefer Dart, but I would need to know what you're cutting.
I'm guessing Stafford. Well, I guess it would be dependent on what you could drop.
Yeah, honestly, I'd do that.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. I'm fine dropping Stafford for him.
I'd be fine dropping Stafford to pick up Dart. No issue there. In fact, I would probably do that, even if it's a 1-week rental. It's fine.
And then flex spot, Laporta or Monangai. It's gonna be Monangai.
That depends on whether or not Swift is playing.
Not for me, it doesn't.
Even after the crazy big PPR week that Laporta had last week, where Laporta had like massive game.
Yeah,
that's the thing about Laporta is that he keeps alternating between massive games and nothing. Yeah, that's the problem. So,
and I still think Monangai is going to be splitting, and they're going to run the ball because that's what they want to do. It's too difficult for me to get away from him.
I just went to my flex rankings. I'll go with Monangai for the purposes of today. If Swift gets cleared to play, I bet I would do that differently. But given what I know right now, which is that Swift is coming off of not playing and 1 limited practice, I don't feel super confident that he'll be playing in this game yet. So if Swift sits, I would play Monangai. If Swift plays, then I'm going to play Laporta. That's how I would do that.
All right. I concur, probably. I still might just play Monangai, but we'll see how that goes as the week goes on.
Well, Monangai is also beat up, which is not great.
Yeah.
So,
well,
not ideal.
Your first full-time job, and you go for almost 200 yards. So it's
against the worst defense
I
know. Ever. So a lot of people have gotten very excited, and I'm like, have you not seen any other Bengals games? Because everyone does this to them every week. This happens.
All right. Well.
So.
Golly, sorry.
So, Anthony wants to know, in a standard league, somebody is shopping Nico Collins and Emeka Egbuka, and he wants to know which one should he go for.
I think Egbuka is going to be cheaper at this point, just because he's been injured.
I don't think I super care about that. I think it's more about standard. So it's all down to touchdowns. It's who scores the touchdowns.
And I
That's
still
all that standard
trust
is.
The Bucks more.
I will probably go for Egbuka. So here's my rationale here. I technically have Nico Collins 2 spots higher in my rest of season rankings. I have Nico at 9 in standard, and I have Egbuka at 11. The reason that I'm going to go Egbuka is literally down to the idea that the Bucks playoff schedule for fantasy is way better than the Texans. Like, way better. It's not even close. So obviously the goal is to go to the playoffs here if we're thinking about doing this. So I'm going to go, if I'm building my playoff roster, I want Egbuka over Nico. That's the thing about rest of season rankings is that it literally means that rest of season. Whereas for the thrust of this question, I assume if we're evaluating this, it's mostly about the playoffs. So we're going to get Egbuka based on his playoff schedule. That's my opinion.
Yep. That would be where I'd be aiming for sure. Also, with the remaining tough schedule for Pittman, do I shop him or keep him rostered?
I'll trade Pittman. That's fine.
Really depends on what you're getting, but it better be something that's worth it.
Pittman is my wide receiver 25 in standard the rest of the way. So he's a very low end wide receiver 2. And that's because it's not PPR. If it was PPR, it's different. But
I guess that's fair. I didn't think about it being standard. I'm like,
it's a standard league, so it's you get
you
no
have him
points.
way too low.
It's just touchdowns though. He doesn't score enough touchdowns. It's just touchdowns. You need the people that are going to hit the end zone if you want to have success in standard, which is why, Anthony, standard is stupid. Like I said it. Why would I say something, Jason, so controversial yet so brave? Because it's just counting touchdowns is all it is. For example, there's no universe where DK Metcalf right now, should be rated ahead of Michael Pittman. That shouldn't be a thing because it's not in PPR. But in standard it is because DK Metcalf catches touchdowns. And that's it. That's all he does, in fact. He catches 40-yard bombs and touchdowns. That's all they know how to do with him at this point. So it's one of those things. It's like, would I shop Michael Pittman? Yeah, I would. For what? Well, that depends. Things that catch touchdowns is my answer. DK Metcalf's playoff schedule is also fantastic, and people are probably pretty frustrated at the moment. If you want to offer him up as part of the Igbuka deal, I would 100% do that. I'm all in on that plan. Devontae Adams would be something I'm looking to target. Again, catches a lot of touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashee Rice, Drake London. These are all things that catch a lot of touchdowns. It literally is that simple in standard. It's who are my red zone weapons, who catches my touchdowns, who runs my touchdowns in. Because whoever scores the most touchdowns on their fantasy teams wins in standard, which is why I go back to standard's kind of dumb. Because trying to predict touchdowns is possible, but it's ultimately a fool's errand because you'll never get it exactly right. So that's the weighted average for anything related to standard. Anybody else you like, Jason, or do you just not even pay attention to standard at all anymore? Have you just checked out on that completely?
Yeah, it's not a real thing in my mind, so I just moved on.
There are
I'll let you go. I'll let you talk. I'm like, I don't care.
There are dozens. Oh, Anthony, Jason said he doesn't care about you and your questions. Mark that. Clip it. Clip it. I'll use that for Jason's performance review later this year.
When it comes to standard, you're correct. I do not care. I'll answer them, but when it comes
we'll get that in the file. Don't worry, Anthony. I heard him. We'll get that clipped. We'll get it in the file. I'll make it a note on his permanent record. I'll make sure we use that to strip away his health care.
Overpriced. But yeah, I mean, it really depends what you get. That's that. Sorry. My bad.
It's the most political show we've ever done, with two vague political things in there. That's it. That was all it was. No more politics. No more politics.
What's up, Daniel? How's it going?
That's all you get.
Does Trey Tucker stay about the same, or does value go up a little? Oh, yeah.
What little value it has is there.
It retains its value.
You're asking the wrong person. He had no value in my eyes to begin with.
PPR, maybe. It might go up a smidge, but as of what I've seen so far, it hasn't looked...
I doubt it. I think the Raiders is literally Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty. Yeah. And then nothing. Literal nothing. Like, nothing else is worth rostering. I'm sure I could find you something on the waiver wire to cut Trey Tucker for.
Yeah.
And I don't see that changing, unfortunately.
I agree. There's probably something on the waiver wire that I'd much rather have. But he has some horrible running back options this week, assuming he's starting Tracy over Bill, Jordan Mason, and Henderson. But if I had to start Tracy... Is it Tracy, or do I pick up Singletary? It's definitely Tracy.
It's definitely Tracy.
But it's Henderson if Stevenson's out.
Yeah.
So we're going to put that caveat. Make sure you're
if
come back Sunday.
Bill's not worth starting.
Correct.
Mason's not worth starting. You're either starting Tracy or Henderson, and it literally comes down to the status of Ramondre Stevenson.
And honestly, if you want to take a swing for Chris Rodriguez, I'm fine with that too.
I have no interest in Chris Rodriguez.
Yeah, it's Mariota. I'm like, eh. Okay, Tamra though. More importantly, Montgomery or Waddle PPR. This is a question. The running backs. I'm tired of hearing about all these Horrible running backs. Running backs have jumped off a cliff at this point with how bad they've been playing.
Well, we're in week 10, folks.
I know.
That's how this works. Like the buys, it was horrible to begin with, and then the buys hit, and then the injuries hit, and then it's like by this point in the year, if you have any kind of running backs, you're probably going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because like, and it's Waddle, by the way, and I don't think it's particularly close.
I concur. Then we have to pick Superflex. Get 2 QBs: Mariota, Goff, or Rodgers.
Boy, well, I can pretty much tell you I'm going to rubber stamp Goff right in. Like that's the easy one. It's a question of the other two.
And I have Mariota
higher.
Because you can still throw on the Lions, baby.
Where is he on my rankings?
I'm guessing if you're similar to me, like
There
you
it
have
is.
been recently, he should be.
I've got him at 16.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's Mariota. Don't love it, but I don't want to play Rodgers. Yeah, I don't want to play Rodgers.
All right. Eberhard again. Shakira, Franklin.
This is PPR.
It is.
I have Shakir 1 spot higher, and that's down to the matchup against Miami's truly god-awful secondary.
I guess this would actually come into effect if Cook is out, because that might change it for me.
It doesn't even matter to me. I'm just going to play Shakir. He's been more consistent recently. He's putting up double digits, and like Franklin is still doing that thing where he has massive games and then he puts up like a 6. And I don't love the idea of playing Franklin on Thursday night because they should be able to beat the Raiders however they want. They'll lose this game, obviously, because that's how this works. But I'm playing Shakir. That matchup against the Dolphins secondary is really, really attractive.
I get it. I have just seen too much of Franklin lately, and it's even this past week it depressed me, but he was still seeing target. I was like, well, on a team that can't seem to win, just straight up and just beat their opponent into the ground.
Talk about, they win all the time. They win constantly. If you don't like the flamboyant, I do nothing for 3 quarters and then score 33 points in the 4th quarter specifically to win.
I do not.
Oh well. I don't know how to help you then. Why do you hate fun? Why do you hate fun and enjoyment? This is Jason's way of admitting that he has clinical depression.
Well, you already knew that was a thing. I don't know why you're even joking about it. It's seasonal at this point. We're in football season. I have depression. This is how that works.
The Chargers are doing good. I always thought that was Chargers related.
Yeah, but everybody's hurt.
By this point, the Chargers are on the IR, all on IR. The whole team's on IR, but not this year.
They're still.
They got a guard. What do you want? What do you want? There's no.
They got a guard. Yay!
There's no pleasing you. You just.
No running backs. Only wide receivers and Herbert.
Don't need him. Overrated. All you need is Harbaugh, and that's it. You just need Harbaugh. And he's got it. He's got you. Nothing else is required. Okay. Harbaugh and whatever his magic is.
Yeah, he's sprinkling something out there because it seems to.
I was going to say I wasn't going to use the term sprinkling. I think it's more injecting, but I can't prove that, and far be it for me to insinuate something I can't possibly prove.
I mean, we've already punctured along. It's fine. That wasn't even under Harbaugh.
That's different people. That's different people. That's a long time ago. That's all different. That's ancient history. No one even knows what you're talking about.
Okay.
That's the funniest deep cut. I still tell people about that, and no one remembers that anymore. It's me, you, and Steve. I think are the people that remember that. No one else remembers any of that.
Yeah, great way to end a guy's career, that's for sure.
He was playing for the Jets 2 weeks ago. His career's not over.
Well, he's playing for the Jets. I think that kind of.
One could make the argument that playing for the Jets signals the end of your career, but he's still technically in the NFL till relegation comes in, and then we'll see. Daniel wants to know, do we think Swift plays this week? It's too early to say, Daniel.
Yeah.
He was limited today. It's the first practice report. Let's see if he can do limited tomorrow and limited Friday. If he can put 2 more limiteds together, I bet they let him play. If he gets shut down tomorrow, then no. I don't think if he has a setback or there's like swelling or inflammation after a limited practice today, then there's no way he's playing this week.
Yeah.
So you're really just waiting on practice reports for the next 2 days, and then you'll have your answer.
And trust me, I will make sure to ping you in the Discord to let you know if there's any movement on that, because that will be something important. What?
It's the things you care about. Very entertaining to me.
What?
It
is important to know. This is important information.
I assume that's also, but I'm going to the place where I'm assuming that's highly self-motivated, like you're also monitoring it for reasons that are selfish. So I'll ping you because I'll be paying attention. That's how I'm taking what you said.
I'm like, that's not true. I'm paying attention to all of the players, so I know where to rank people.
I don't know anything. The only thing I know is that I don't know anything, Jason. That's the first thing you got to know about me. I'm a real selfless man to the people, this guy.
Yeah.
Real deep thinker as well.
All right. M. Gonzalez, Monangai or Harvey?
Again, that's a good one.
Depends on...
that's a thinker. No, because you don't get to wait. You have to make this choice tomorrow. So that's why I'm saying that's a good one, because that's a puzzler, because you're forced to make a decision with incomplete information. That's toughy. I'm going to say Monangai. And let me ask you this, my friend, because I know you're listening. What's your other plan? If Monangai was to get shut down because he was hurt, what's plan C? Let's say Monangai's plan A, Harvey's plan B. If we're gonna roll Monangai despite the injury designation, and then he gets shut down like Saturday, what's plan C? Because it does sort of impact my answer in this case. You got to throw rankings out on this one a little bit. Are you just pressing the gas down, Jason? What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I'm probably just going to roll Harvey. You know how I risk averse I am when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, I'd rather play the guy I know is playing.
You're like super risk averse when it comes to that, but then when we talk about like other stuff, you're like, no, it's upside. It's all upside. Everything is upside. And I'm like, you're just like, logically, it's like, it doesn't. We've been doing this together for years, and I still can't figure out where that line is for you. What is this, like 6 years of us doing this together, and I still can't figure it out. Like, yeah. So
I don't see what the problem is. It seems very easy to me.
When it comes to injuries, there's risk aversion. But when it comes to running down the field with your arm up as your main strategy, we're good with that. We're just gonna let. Okay.
Yeah, that's the way to roll that.
Baffling.
Injuries are scary. Speed's hard to detect. It only takes 1 or 3. You give a massive game.
I see him typing, but well, yeah, we got that, man. We know that it's probably not your starter, like more than likely. What I'm saying is, what are your other options at RB2 besides Monangai and Harvey? That's my question.
Yeah,
because I assume they're not your starters, but I'll keep going.
I'll keep going. Available?
We'll wait for him to get it. I'm gonna keep going. We're gonna wait for him to keep typing.
Okay.
And I'm gonna skip a question from. We're gonna come back to that.
Okay.
Because the Smitty wants to know: is there any word on Jaden Daniels? Not concretely.
Yeah.
Is the real answer.
So I talked about it. I stated it in the Discord. Usually, elbow dislocation is a minimum of 3 weeks, but that does not include any kind of rehab. So, or if there's any weakness, or if there's tendon damage, like there's a lot of things you take into account. when it comes to that.
What's their record in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Rides
You
into
know,
this
other
equation at a
things.
certain point. Yeah. Yeah.
But
By the
because
time we hit week 13, what is the Commanders' record? Because if they lose the next 3 games, I'm not even sure he's coming back.
Yeah.
You might just take a nice mulligan on this season and we just move on.
Yeah, it's not ideal because usually, again, 3 to 6 weeks is the normal timeline for a dislocation like this, but that's not including any damage. I mean,
Their exact comments were, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, which sounds
like there was minimal ligament damage.
that's
Or
good,
tendon. Yeah.
but not that's a very suspicious way to phrase that. You know, like it's very convenient because it could mean many things is what that could mean. Because what I expected was for you to tell me that he was done for the year and being put on IR. So the fact that that's not what's happening is by definition better than what it could have been. But that doesn't really mean a whole lot, like for the real question you're asking. So I think the answer is this. It really comes down to, like Jason's saying, it's a 3-week turnaround. Best case scenario. What's the commander? My comment is, what's the Commander's record at that point? Because if we're coming into week 13 or leaving week 13 and going into week 14 of the regular NFL season, and they've been like pretty much eliminated from the playoffs, I don't think he's coming back this year. What's the point? So you're kind of hoping that they can win enough of these next couple games that by the time he's ready to come back, that they'll actually be okay with that because they'll still be trying to get a playoff spot.
I don't think they're going to get that lucky because it's Lions, Dolphins, Broncos, Vikings, Giants, Eagles.
And then like also to that, their defense is terrible.
Yeah.
Their defense is terrible this year. Like that what they did to that defense is not working. Like it is not working. And there needs to be some adjustments, and I don't think you're going to make them in season. And then Mariota's fine, but like I'm not sold on a lot of this. They need to figure out what their running game identity is going to be, and I don't think they're going to figure that out in season either.
Nope.
And then what do you do with Deebo Samuel? Because he's a free agent at the end of the year. And what else do you have at wide receiver that isn't Deebo Samuel at this point? I would think he would want to stay, by the way.
Yeah, I think he was in a good position until everybody got hurt. He was playing.
I think
he's
fine. Still in it.
And I think
he's still in a
hurt.
Decent position compared to what we've seen before. Like he seems a lot happier there than he was with the 49ers. So because they're not making him play running back, which seems to be the sticking point, is that he doesn't want to play running back. And why would you? Like one of these things really hurts, and the other one pays more and hurts less. Okay. We've waffled long enough to get our answer here. So the other options are Corum. So you'd be playing Kyron Williams and Corum. Bashal Tutin is also on the roster. And if he's going to the waiver wire, then the only things available are DeMarcado and Chris Rodriguez.
Okay. So I also pulled up, like I said,
I don't want any of that, just so we're clear. We're back to one of the two choices is where we're at.
The other thing I'm going to bring up, just because I think he might still be available, Dylan Sampson is something else that might be on your waiver wire that's available.
But not comparable to what we're discussing. Like the drop the drop from Monunganai or Harvey to the other names. We're not playing an exercise.
Assuming that he's going to play Monunganai and then he gets ruled out. Like
I'm not making that assumption. I want to know. Before I answer, I wanted to know what the drop is, and now that I know what the drop is, I'm just going to play Harvey.
Okay,
that's it. Like I just needed to know what the drop is, because if the drop from Monunganai to Harvey is about 7 spots in my RB rankings, which is significant, but the drop from Harvey to anything else you listed is like 15 spots. and I'm not willing to go there. Tootin would be my choice, by the way, of any of that we know about today. But I'm not even willing to get there. I'm just going to roll out Harvey on Thursday night, and I'm pray to the deity or object or concept of your choosing that that he can catch a touchdown and run it in, because that's literally what that is. But I will say this, since we're here. Jason, you were talking about RB backfield splits last week. Remember at the end of the show we were doing that?
Yeah.
The thing that I've been noticing is we are starting to, I think, get to the changing of the guard.
For Broncos?
Slowly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're slowly getting there. Dobbins is starting to slow down, and they're starting to kind of really trust Harvey more, especially in the passing game. So I think Harvey's going like this, and Dobbins' stock is going like this, maybe more like this. So what I would say is, if I had Dobbins shares, given where we are, I think he's being overvalued by the fantasy community at this point. For example, this week in the ECR, Dobbins is the running back 14 in PPR, and I think that's just too high. They've got Dobbins ahead of things like Keyshawn Judkins and Breece Hall and Monanganai if he's playing.
Well, to be fair, though,
it's like,
we're not sure about Quinshon because it is.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand. I understand all that. But what I'm saying is that still feels too high for Dobbins. Dobbins, I think, should be down in the David Montgomery zone of 21, 22. Because that's kind of what it is at this point. It's slightly more valuable David Montgomery. If he's just going to be the running back and not catch passes, and he's not even going to get all the red zone work anymore, because now Harvey's getting some of that too, it kills a lot of Dobbins value for fantasy for the rest of the year. And we're going to do a little trade deadline thing here before we leave today. That's a little sneak preview of it. So since we're here, there you go.
Yeah, I have Harvey at my RB16 currently. So
yeah, I don't have him that high yet. We'll see. It's a Thursday night game as well. Which,
yeah, I know it's a short week, but
play Harvey Gonzalez, and you're just hoping that he catches a touchdown and takes it in. Monanganai has the higher upside, but the problem is the risk of him getting shut down is really high. He seems decently beat up. But let's say you're projected to lose bigly, as the kids say. Like, if I'm projected to get crushed, Monanganai was limited today, so I'll probably play him. But the problem is, so was Swift. So that's the other issue here. So I'm gonna go with the guy who's healthy more than likely, and then let's put a pin in that potentially, or just move on. Tamara wants to know a Dynasty question. She has Madison sitting in the IR with Dell and Bosa. Ooh, it's an IDP league. Now with Kraft on IR, I'm considering dropping Madison or just riding with Kraft on my bench while on IR. Okay, that is an interesting question. So here's what I would tell you. Do you really need the roster spot? Like, is it critical? Is there something on the waiver wire that you really want, that you want to grab? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really, I'm not super interested in Madison.
Yeah.
Like,
not
even long term. Well, even long term is what I'm saying. It's like Madison, let me pull up my Dynasty rankings here. This is normally not the time of year I do this. So in Dynasty, I have Alexander Madison, and I want to be clear. This is running back specific Dynasty rankings, okay? So not total rankings, running back specific Dynasty rankings. I have Madison at 104. Along such names as Ty Chandler and Phil Mata and Tyler Batty and Cam Akers, and if you know even more than two of those people, then respect, dog, because these are not. We got away from household names pretty quickly there. Tyler Batty is no one knows who that is outside of Denver. So what I would say is I don't think you need Madison. You could probably cut Madison and then pick him back up later. Whereas Dell, I'm holding on to Bosa, I'm holding on to, and Kraft, I want to hold on to. I want to hold on to all of that.
Yeah.
Madison is very much optional. Now, if you were to say, if you don't need a roster spot, like you just don't need one, I'm okay with just holding on to it. But that's where I have some questions. Questions like, what is available in this league on the waiver wire? Because I bet you I could find something that I like better, like Trevor Etienne or Jordan James
LaQuint Allen?
or who?
LaQuint Allen? No, too deep.
No, I know who that is. It's just, do I care?
Caleb Johnson?
Caleb Johnson will not be. If that's available, I'll start giving you stuff. Like, that's a Dynasty thing. In redraft by now he's available, but in Dynasty, no chance is that guy available because people just spent a first round pick on that. They're not going to be cutting their first round pick from 6 months ago to free up a roster spot, even in an IDP like that. There's no way that's happening. If that's available, I'm going to start cutting real stuff to go get it. Yeah, go cut Madison and free up that roster spot right now. Blow all your fab budget too, by the way, because if you don't, someone else will. I'm further down the list here. I'm looking for things like Taj Brooks would be something that I'm more interested in than Madison at this point in their career. And if you'll notice a pattern, what I'm basically listing is all the late round rookie running backs from last year's draft. I could give you a list of them. DJ Giddens, Jarquez Hunter, where is he at here? Taj Brooks, Trevor Etienne. If you like LaQuint Allen, go ahead. I'm just not a big fan. Jordan James. It's all those guys that were the late round running backs. Caleb Johnson being available would be like, oh my God, I'm literally going to like mortgage my future for this to get that in because somebody made a mistake. Like that's somebody screwed up. They shouldn't have did that. But like if DJ Giddens was available, that'd be great. I'd much rather deal with that. But I got other names that aren't just that. Like Jonathan Brooks might be worth rostering over Madison. Najee Harris might have been cut. That's something that I would consider rostering over Madison. Marshawn Lloyd, even though I can't stand Marshawn Lloyd, might be worth rostering. And that's just running backs. So I think you get my point. Like if we scale that up to not just wide receiver, tight end, and quarterback, but also IDP, I'm quite confident that if I had your waiver wire in front of me, that I could find you something that I would rather roster than Madison. Feel pretty good about that. So hope that was helpful. I would recommend Madison's my cut. I just don't feel like you have to do it. But in all honesty, if we're being honest with each other, I bet you there's something that's on your waiver wire that I'd rather roster, whether it's an IDP position or an offensive position. I'm quite confident we could find you something that isn't Madison. It's a shame that this is probably the way Madison's career ends, by the way.
Yeah.
You'd have hoped for better, but the NFL is a cruel mistress. Staying with Tamara, she wants two. Monanganai, Henderson, or Bill?
Sitting Bill.
Yep, we're both sitting Bill. Gonzalez wants to know, is it worth kicking the tires on Dante Thornton? No, it is not. Not for me, at least. Those are not tires that I would like to kick.
Maybe Dynasty.
Maybe, but even in our Dynasty League that we play together, I just cut him off my taxi squad because there's better things available.
Yeah.
Tony says he'll still listen to us each week, Jason. The subtext of that is, despite you being rude to him, he'll still continue to be a fan, which I appreciate.
I'm not being rude to him. It's just, when it comes to standard questions, I really struggle to focus on it.
I think you're being rude to him. I don't know. That's how I took it.
There are times that selective hearing gets me in trouble. When I hear standard, it kind of...
Can I get your wife on the show? Because I bet she has fun stories. Get your wife on here. put Jason on the. I've long since long-term listeners of the show know that I have long threatened to put Jason on the therapy couch. He's always assumed that it'll be me interviewing him. It won't be. I'll just be the one reading the questions that were prepared by his wife, who will be behind a one-way mirror, and I will bring her out at the end. And it'll be our highest rated show ever. It's all part of my quest, my lifelong quest to become Jerry Springer.
The worst. Oh, this is.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I'm not even close to the worst. I am a jerk. But I'm not the one. Trust me, there's way worse people than me.
Okay. No, stick with Tamara though. Baker or Darnold? Darnold.
That's a tough one, isn't it? I guess not, because I don't trust the Baker thing with
the uncertainty of all the other players.
I don't. Yeah, it's not even about Baker. It's like I don't even know what the team is. Yeah, I'd probably just play Darnold at that point because I could feel better about that. Like I know what I'm getting. Baker, like the upside is always there.
Yeah.
But I don't know who's playing for Tampa this week. On Wednesday, I will answer that question as Darnold.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters to me a whole lot because, well, I guess that game could get competitive. I just versus the Patriots and no Godwin. I'm iffy at best.
And then Cooks or Shaheed.
Well, Cooks at least knows the offense, but I don't know how you just said no Saints.
And that's because I wasn't expecting. This is a dynasty league, okay? I
know.
have to. There's only one way that this question is happening, and in dynasty, and this is a redraft theme show, at least in theory. Less evidence of that this year. That comment was largely around redraft focus stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to play Rashid Shaheed, but that's got to be a dynasty related question. I can't imagine there's any universe where that's not a dynasty league. And in dynasty, Jason, you got to use I'll reference Futurama. I'll reference the thing that you got it. The guy with the thumbs up. You got to do what you got to do. Like there's no way I'm gonna play Cooks.
Not with how bad
like
that team just looks at overall. That's the only reason I want to play Juwan. Because him and Olave both saw like 10 targets. So
yeah,
I only assume that goes up. And that was wishing.
Cooks. I don't want to play Cooks. Like there's no way I'm gonna play Cooks. I'm just gonna pray that Shaheed catches a 50-yard bomb. That's literally my one hope is that he catches a 50-yard deep shot at some point in the game.
All right. Well.
All right, Daniel.
Here we go.
Daniel is saying that he lost Kraft and picked up Juwan Johnson. One more time, best. Who has the best chance to fill Kraft points? Johnson, Ertz, Loveland. Yeah.
Because I said Hawk's schedule looks good. So
rest of season tight end rankings. What a useless activity.
Savage.
That's not his fault.
I know.
He didn't invent the rules. That comment's not directed at him. I'm just saying that this is like I'd have better luck predicting the weather in Ireland from Denver. Like I assume it's raining. It's like that doesn't. This changes so much. All right, hang on. I'm going there. I'm doing it. I don't like it, but I'm doing it.
Based on the schedule, it would be in Joku for me.
I really, really, really feel like where we're headed here.
Is it Musgrave again?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to play Musgrave at all.
I agree. I'm very scared of Musgrave because I kind of know what it is.
Is it Mason Taylor? I assume it's
yeah.
Mason Taylor.
Has to be Mason Taylor.
So I'll answer this first. Well, unless you're ready.
I said it has to be Njoku for me because I like his rest of season the most, and even though he is splitting with Fannin, it's still scoring. I mean,
No, it
that
can't.
seems to be
It
like the
can't
one
be
option.
Njoku. Can't be Njoku for me for that reason. I'm actually somewhat amazed he didn't get traded. He also was amazed he didn't get traded. Clearly, if you saw what he posted on Twitter. I refuse to use the other name for that website. So, for me, the answer is I have two different answers, Daniel. It's Colston Loveland because I think we're starting to watch the end of Cole Kmet's tenure with the Bears at this point. Injuries have hastened it, but they seem to be getting Loveland comfortable. And he's not going to catch a 60-yard deep shot every week, but he didn't even need the 60-yard deep shot to put up a good week. He was already having a good game. So I think they're going to make an effort to get Colston Loveland more involved. He's my answer. I think you're watching the beginning of the beginning of the breakout is what's happening there. But then specifically for the playoffs, it's Mason Taylor. Because the Jets have an incredible back half of their schedule, especially in the playoffs. And what else do the Jets have, Jason?
Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall,
who will probably get deactivated, like to preserve them. You know what I mean? Like so they don't get hurt in meaningless games. We're a ways off from that, which is why I'm saying short term. My answer is Colston Loveland, but towards the end of the year, Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor is also interesting in his own right.
The fact that he's out there, but they're just not targeting him is annoying.
I mean, they're targeting him fairly regularly. I mean,
yeah, but not enough.
He played he played 80% of the snaps or more in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games straight before the bye. And in the last 2 games, he had 8 targets in the Cincinnati game. I think the game you're thinking of is that Denver game in week 6 where he only had the 1 target. Every other game he's had like 5 targets.
Yeah, but with how much he's on the field, I'm just surprised it's not more because
they're playing him a ton.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, with how much they're playing him, I expect him to see more targets.
That's why I say he's interesting, though, is my point. Because he's playing. Like, all these other guys that are on this list, most of them are part-timers. Mason Taylor's not a part-timer. He's out there all day. He's out there the whole game. Plays the whole game. So I got to figure that they're going to see what they got at some point and go to him a little more. And his schedule is really good. So
that's fair.
Njoku, I'm not sold on that. Like, it's just not, doesn't feel sustainable. It feels like they're going to be alternating between him and Fannin in a weird way. I'm just not, I don't want to get too deep into that. But the two that I like are Loveland and Taylor on there. Not a big hot guy, Daniel.
Yeah.
Just not.
Not with JJ.
Jason is either. July wants to know.
Oh, no.
Wants to know, would we trade CD and Jacobs for Saquon and Puka?
Depends on your team, but I still prefer CD and Jacobs.
Yeah, I think I prefer the CD and Jacobs part of that as well. It's close. Yeah. Very close. What swings it for me is the Saquon and Puka side has to deal with the weird Eagles offense that they don't seem to have totally clicking, and Puka being questionable every week. Whereas CD is not questionable every week anymore. They got through that. It was annoying, but they did it. And
by letting him sit for a
couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Jacobs is also healthy, and he is just on an incredible heater. And their playoff schedule is incredible. Their playoff schedule is phenomenal. We talked about that last week, and I'll probably bring it up again here in a minute.
We missed
Daniel.
C. Williams in my Vampire League for Hurts bye, and after last week, you still cut him,
Oh,
correct?
that's where I was gonna do that.
Oh, okay. I had that one ahead of it, so.
What are my other options to cut?
Yeah.
In a vacuum, sure. But what are my other options? I would imagine there's something on that team that I would rather cut. Because you're not going to cut Hurts, obviously. That's not going to happen. But I would need to know what are my other options for cuts before I answer that question.
All right.
Because you probably won that game because of Williams. Since you started him. So you probably won that game literally because you put up a 40.
Yeah, it took him long enough.
And
got some pressure.
It's a shame they won't play Cincinnati every week.
I know. Stick with Daniel. PPR. Pick 2. Debo, Diggs, Quentin Johnson, or Downs? Woof.
You're playing Diggs.
But after that...
and then I don't know.
Dun, 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 dun.
Probably Debo, honestly.
Yeah. I think so, but I have to actually pull my rankings.
Yeah, no, I got it. By my rankings, it's Diggs and Debo, as dirty as it is.
Yep, that's what I have too.
All right, and then Tamara, that's awesome. We look forward to doing that roster resolution for you. It'll probably be me and Steve that do it since it's Dynasty focused. So I already alerted him to that idea that it's coming. So that's awesome. So we look forward to that. That'll be fun.
Sorry, you won't get to see my pretty face that day.
It's like our third. I'm making you do Daniel's other one.
Rude.
By yourself. And then by the way, Daniel Ward, you owe us notes. You bought your other roster resolution, and then we never heard anything from you. So you've got one more. You've got credit for one more, sir. So whenever you're ready, fire that.
Trying to decide what team.
He might actually be. I didn't think about that. He actually might be doing that.
It's like, okay, which one of these?
It's more just a reminder because we were gonna do that. We were gonna do that
this weekend.
There. Well, not necessarily this weekend, but like we were gonna do it. But he was the only one left in the queue. We've addressed all the other ones. Everybody else is handled. And I was waiting to see if Tamara was gonna do it. And then I asked Steve about it, and he said, "Yeah, Daniel paid for one more, but he hasn't given us the notes yet. So we're just waiting on that." So,
all right, back to Everhart. Picking one in PPR: Monty, Monangai, DJ Moore, or Franklin.
Moore.
I agree. It's Moore. It's only because Kraft was an every week starter. Oh,
that's in reference to his other question. Yeah, keep sober thoughts. Do y'all play Dynasty? I play a lot of Dynasty, and really love it. And so does Steve in our Discord, Steve Bonham. So Steve and I play a lot of Dynasty.
And I only play because I have to play with these guys.
And Jason hates it. Jason plays in one Dynasty league and he hates it. He's confused by it and he doesn't understand any of the things that I try to teach him. And I could tell that his eyes roll back in his head and he's not listening. But Steve and I both play a lot of Dynasty in the background at this point, and we have for years. And it's funny because I have made it to a point where now I've been playing Dynasty since I'm old. I've been playing fantasy football since 2005, and we started playing Dynasty in 2000 and 18, 19, something like that. And I'm to the point now where I prefer it. Like I prefer Dynasty to redraft. Yeah. It's a much better way to play. I think all leagues should be Dynasty leagues. You should have to live with your decisions that you make.
Yeah, I like I like restarting. It's like I get a whiteboard and I just wipe it all down after the end of the
year. Boring. Then there's no consequences to anything. All right.
Yeah, Jawan Johnson has a bye in a week. Saints need it bad worse than anybody. Oh, nice, Tamra.
Tamara beat her husband with yes.
Love it.
I would lord that over him for years. I would be
and had highest points for the week.
I would be
gosh.
despite playing him and he was god awful. Despite playing him and him being god awful. You did that despite him. That's freaking hysterical.
Awesome.
That is freaking hilarious.
10 points, baby.
I would get sent to marriage counseling because I'd bring that up, and then I'd probably bring it up in marriage counseling. Like that is fantastic. That is a great. That is fantastic. Okay, and then
yeah, that's not an issue.
Right.
We're happy to wait. It's not that big a deal. You got plenty of time to figure it out.
I actually wasn't even going to address that.
Okay.
I was just going to be like, it's totally fine. Like we have no issue. There's no clock here. Like it's all good. Last question that's in here right now. Addison, McMillan, and a 2027 second and third rounder for T. Higgins and Chase Brown. I don't know what side of this deal is a consideration here. I also have no idea what your team is. And I have no idea whether or not you are contending or if you are rebuilding.
Yeah.
So these are really hard to do when given one data point. It's really hard for me to answer that question because I could make this argument both directions. So if you want me to answer it, I will, but you have to answer my questions in return. What side of this trade are you? What is the status of your team? Like, are you trying to compete or are you trying to rebuild? I can tell you that in a vacuum, I obviously prefer the Higgins and Chase Brown side of that deal because Addison is a great young thing, but that's kind of the only thing. A 2027 second rounder
is. I mean,
we don't know what that is. It's not worth a whole lot because of that.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It depends on where we don't know where second and third is too.
And a 2027 third rounder carries no value to me.
Yeah.
That means nothing. So a 2027 third rounder is nothing. You might as well give me a bag of sand. It has the same value. A 2027 second rounder is worth virtually nothing. It's not worth nothing. But the other consideration in that is what kind of pick is that? Is it like an early second or is that like a late second? Okay, so you have the Addison side of this. Cool. That helps me.
And contending.
So you're contending. Okay. Is the person that's doing the other side of that, are they contending? Or are they just like a dead team or are they like a dead team? Because to be honest with you, if you're contending, I would offer that. I just don't think that it's going to get. Okay, so you're trying to push in and go for it. Cool, I'm with you. Deal's fine. I have no issue with the deal from your end. I don't know why the other person would do that though. I think if they're willing to take that deal, you should take that deal right now because I bet you don't get a better deal than that. Because T. Higgins has a mix of immediate value, but also long-term value, given his age, contract status, and status of his quarterback and his contract status. I'm sure you know all that. Chase Brown is a little bit more shorter shelf life, but it doesn't really matter because running back in Dynasty is like they operate on a 4-year window. In reality, if you get anything more than that, you're doing really well. But if you're trying to contend, you probably don't care. I would absolutely offer that deal. If I was on the other side of that, I would reject that deal. I would not accept that as the T. Higgins, Chase Brown manager. I would shoot you down, and maybe I would counter offer. Okay, that's a question. Hang on. That's an interesting one. Let me do some math. Bear with me for 2 seconds while I do math.
Yeah, we kind of figured that was your goal, Silver.
Talk while I do math.
Yeah, so.
Always riveting when I have to do math live.
I know. But his goal is to upgrade my wide receiver. We kind of noticed that based on who you have and what you're trying to get. So understand why you're trying to do this. I again think that's probably closer. He has Jason and Garrett Wilson as well. So
yeah, that's all. That's great.
Yeah.
It's a perfect addition.
Yeah.
To round out the team here.
And I think it's the right age too.
It is the right age. You're looking at the right age, the right contract status. So you're looking in the right place. It's a question of is it enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it enough? And I don't think that first deal's enough. The second deal, I have to actually do the math because I think it might be. That's a lot closer. And it's more impactful to the other person. 63.
Yeah, assuming that they're in any kind of a rebuild based on what you're kind of giving up to. I mean, Addison's the most valuable piece from the actual team since we don't know what McMillan is. And then the pick is higher, even though you're contending, so it's going to be a lower first round pick or higher. However you want to say it. The back end of the first round. So probably 9 to 12 or 14, whatever.
And then I've got Addison,
H.N. Cook, Jay Williams, Javonte, and Judkins, I'm guessing.
Javonte, yeah. So you're in second place, so it's a late round first. I would make that offer and see if he bites. Addison in a 2027 first is about right, but I think you're still getting the better end of that deal. Because what you're really saying is, I'm going to trade you Jordan Addison and the 1.11 in a 12, I'm assuming 12-team league.
10.
By the way. Or the 1.9,
but
I guess.
It's start 10. Okay, never mind. I thought it was
but you need depth. So you need depth. No. I'm with him on this. I would offer that. I would offer Addison and a first rounder for those two players. I would start there and see what he does. Because if he or she is rebuilding, that's not a bad offer. Because you're getting a younger player in Addison, believe it or not, who doesn't have the contract security, but I bet ends up getting the contract security. I bet you they don't let Addison leave Minnesota. It's just a question of could they afford it. But you don't care about what happens to Addison at that point. And my point is, with a team that's stacked like this, the 1.9 or the 1.11, depending on if this is a 10 or 12 team league, that doesn't really help you that much. Like, it's not super helpful. It's not a high end pick. So I would rather just upgrade with veterans in your position and bolt them into my existing superstructure and go forward. I don't think the original deal will get accepted. If I was on the other end of that original deal, I would decline that deal outright. And what's funny is I'd probably be looking for a first round pick as a starting point for the conversation. So they might not accept both Higgins and Chase for Addison in a first. But if all they want is like some sweetener on that, I'm sure you could find something else that you're not using to bolt onto that to get Higgins and Chase, because you're loaded at running back, you're loaded at wide receiver. You've probably got so it's a 12 team. So the 1.11, what does that do for you? Very little is the answer. And that's realistically, so you're going to be, if you're going to make the playoffs, right? You're probably trading something between the 1.9 and the 1.12 if you win. So I would trade that plus Addison to see if that's enough. If it's not enough, they'll tell you. But I think you come in, I think if you come in with that first trade, you probably get DQ'd and they probably don't even want to negotiate with you. Because I think they're going to think you're not serious and you're just trying to rip them off or waste their time. If you come in with Addison and a first round pick, most people don't actually think about like what I'm describing, which is where in the first round that pick is. They just see first round pick and they're like, ooh, first round pick. So it depends on the level of sophistication of who you're negotiating with. But I think you stand a much better chance of getting at least a conversation if that's the opening offer, which is Addison and a first for those two players. And then we go from there and we kind of see what they want, because I think they'll be willing to talk to you about that at that point. I'm not going to give up. If he wants to See, that's the thing. If he wants to add McMillan, I probably would.
Yeah.
If he wants to add McMillan, I probably would give him McMillan at that point.
And you know what I would try and do? I'd try and get a second back from him.
Well, you know what I might also do is just keep, or if you really are that married to McMillan, which I don't know why you would be, but okay. If you're going to be that married to McMillan, then why not just give up your second round pick, which you already were thinking about offering? Just give him Addison your first and your second next year, and then see if that's enough. Because it very well could be. Because again, what is the 2.11 worth to you? I got to tell you, the 2.11 is not worth much.
Yeah. No.
But people get really weird about that. They get really weird about it. They get all tied up in it. You know what I mean? So I hope that was helpful, because I think you actually have a real shot at getting that deal done. I would, if they counter offer, I probably would give them McMillan. But if you want to keep McMillan, offer him the 1.11 and the 2.11. Who cares? What's that really doing for you? You already got your first and second round picks. It was T. Higgins and Chase Brown. That's a lot better than Chase Brown's a lot better than what you're probably going to find in the late second round of just about any dynasty draft. So I'm gonna move on from there at that point, because I feel like we've sufficiently answered that question. The last thing is, Jason, as a reminder, no, sorry, the last thing for me is as a reminder, we did this last week a little bit, but just to revisit it, trade deadline.
For Sleeper.
Trade deadline is coming. Well, pretty much for everything, really. Anytime, Sober Thoughts. Sign up for our Discord. Got a whole Dynasty thing in there. And we do trade advice as well. I'm actually looking something up. There it is.
No, I'm going to bring it up because it made me laugh. But Tamara just continuing to put down her husband. Yeah, he doesn't even know what he's doing or who she even is. But LOL. It's his second loss of the season, though, so I can hang it on him. He's a noob. Oof.
That's fine.
Just straight up savage. The whole thing is just savage move.
So
Uh-oh. Broke him again.
No, I started reading. Sorry. So what I was going to say is, Jason, no, there's a weird thing going on where in ESPN this year, the ESPN trade deadline, the unedited one, like if people don't change it, is November 26th. It's like way later than normal.
13?
Yeah, it's like week 13. It's like the week before the playoffs start is the ESPN trade deadline this year. I don't know why. I genuinely do not know why they're doing that way this year. So, but for Sleeper,
probably 1 week before playoffs actually start for
that's
their league.
Like, that's insane. They should be doing it when Sleeper's doing it, because that's the right time to do it. So the Sleeper trade deadline is like next week. So if you're playing on Sleeper, your trade deadline is coming up unless they set a custom one. Yeah. And I think
it's
Yahoo
Tuesday is, because I think it's after the Monday night game, the Sleeper.
Yeah, it's like Tuesday. It's like coming up on Tuesday. By the way, in Yahoo is doing the 22nd. So Sleeper is like early compared to the other main things. But the default thing, a lot of people have custom deadlines, but the default one, so go check your league, is at the conclusion of week 10. So Jason, what it actually is it's immediately after the conclusion of the Monday night game. So not Tuesday. It's Monday night after the game locks. So if you're playing on Sleeper, you really need to go check and see what your trade deadline is. If you're playing on Yahoo, you've got until the 22nd. And if you're playing on ESPN, you have until the 25th, which is that Tuesday. So you either have 1, 2, or 3 weeks left to make trades. So I just wanted to bring that up And then we went through a couple trade targets last week. So go back and check out that show because I'm not going to rehash that whole thing here. It was way too long. But I will just reiterate the idea that I kind of touched on it earlier. If you're looking for things to trade for and you're trying to build your playoff roster, Josh Jacobs. That's the thing I want. Great playoff schedule, all the volume in the world. Like
You probably
it's
want to
literally
get
my number one,
Emmanuel Wilson just in case.
which is easy to do.
Yeah.
It's basically free. Super easy to do. Don't even trip, dog. Don't even trip. Do any of us know what we're doing? No. I become more convinced of that the older I get. That very few people truly know what they're doing. But there you go. That's that's one. Jason, do you have any trade target people? Like a quick one?
I mean, not really. I thought we covered a lot of them last week. If you want,
we did.
Trying to think.
That's why I suggested go back and listen to the whole segment from last week because not a whole lot has changed from one week to the next on that one.
Yeah, I mean, everything's going to be more expensive. So
I'm just going to keep pounding the table for Josh Jacobs.
And I think again, we'll bring it up. I'll bring it up again. DK.
Yeah,
really great schedule.
Good time to get in on that too. Nice and cheap right now because everybody's mad. And okay, so Paricchio, I'm sure I didn't say that right.
Nope.
Wants to trade, is asking, should he trade Bucky and Olave to get Lamb? I would do that.
Yep.
His RBs are Javonte, Tracy, Henderson, and Bucky. His wide receivers are Puka, Olave, and he's 7-2. I would absolutely do that. And normally I would ask all my usual stupid questions, but in this case, I'm just going to cut that short because the fact that Bucky Irving got all those weeks off and then came out of the bye and still couldn't get on the practice field is not good. It's not good that we're still having this conversation. So if somebody wants to give me something for Bucky Irving, and if I have to give up Olave, given his quarterback situation to get Lamb, yeah, if the person who has Lamb is willing to do that deal, I'm taking that deal right now. Taking that deal today.
Only stipulation might be if it's Dynasty. Because I don't.
Even then.
I know.
Even then.
I still like Bucky,
I'm probably still taking it. But
I know. I'm just bringing it up.
But it's fine because it's like fine. He still has enough other stuff to get. Even in Dynasty, he has enough other stuff to get around it. But I'd probably take that deal because Dynasty does change it slightly, and I still think I'd probably take it. Let us know if that's Dynasty. If that's redraft, I'm taking that deal tonight.
Yeah, it says redraft
now.
So go take it.
Perfect. Go take that deal right now if it's actually a real thing. Got an offer for Wandale and Shakir for the Ooh. I prefer the other deal.
Yeah.
I would put this in my back pocket, though. But I'm going to put that in my back pocket. I'm going to think about that. If you can't get that other deal done, because I like the other deal a lot more, I might could. But I think you could do better, candidly. Yeah. I think you could do better than that. And then for a bench question about keeping Williams, Kyron Williams, I guess. No, that can't be right. It's got to be Javonte Williams, right? Or either Javonte. Which Williams? Jameson,
Caleb.
Maybe. Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I was just reading through it real quick.
Worthy, Caleb, Ertz.
Bench down. I mean,
well, I know what I would do. Jason just won't like it. I would cut Juwan Johnson, play Ertz, and then solve my problem.
That's fine.
I don't need two tight ends.
I agree. I don't need two tight ends, so you can cut either of them.
Yeah, I don't care. You don't need two tight ends. And we've had this conversation before, by the way. around I'm remembering this conversation from before. We've had this conversation. The idea that I need two tight ends is Even in Vampire, I don't feel like I need 2 tight ends. I think I can just get along. I think I can get along just fine with 1. All right, Jason, let's keep it moving here. Let's do the start sits of the week here. Who's your quarterback start of the week?
It's ugly because I'm going Bryce Young versus the Saints. It's that Saints team is not good, and Bryce Young actually
I
looked
need
decent.
a shower. I need a shower after just hearing that.
I know, but
That's
you know how last week I said there was a lot of really good quarterbacks? Not so much this week.
yeah.
Not so much this week. You hit 11, you're like,
there's some issues.
I feel dirty.
Yeah, there's some issues for sure. And you'll hate my choice, but it's you mentioned it's ugly out there, and it sure is. Because for me, it's going to be JJ McCarthy, because the Ravens secondary, the Ravens defense is better than it's been, but they still are dealing with a lot of injuries, particularly in the secondary. And as ugly as it looks, and it does look ugly, don't watch the game. He still put up 20 last week against a superior opponent. So I think it'll be fine to go back to that this week, because the options are really terrible. There are not a lot of good options this week at quarterback. It gets ugly fast. In fact, it gets ugly after 13. Once you get to 13, it's like it just falls off a cliff.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could also throw out Marcus Mariota, just because, again, talking about bad secondaries versus Detroit, he's going to have to throw. He has a decent rushing floor.
Yeah. I could also throw out Michael Penix, who was my second choice.
Yeah.
If I absolutely had to, but I don't feel great about it. So, who's your sit of the week in a week where there's basically no one to sit?
Going back again to the well, Daniel Jones versus Atlanta, because he's going to Berlin. And I hate those games. I always feel like it's a trap. Doesn't matter where it's at.
And for me, it's Bo Nix on a very short week, on a Thursday night in a division game, which feels exactly like a trap game to me. So it's a question of whether or not he can pull a miracle out of his you-know-what for the 4th week in a row.
Seems to have the ability.
So eventually this dance is going to end, because no one can do that forever. Daniel is saying he'd have to cut 2 players because Stevenson and Swift will have to come off IR when healthy, and they are questionable now, so he can't do anything.
Okay. So, tight end and... Do you do Downs or Worthy? Or, I mean, honestly, I would find cutting any of them.
Caleb. Just cut Caleb at that point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Because you don't need... You don't. Why do you need? You don't need 2 tight ends and 2 quarterbacks. Like, you just don't. And so it's like, I'm not cutting. I mean, if I answer your question literally, Jason, it would actually probably be Worthy or Johnston, or maybe even Downs. That's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why I was like, I don't know who I'd cut here.
Downs,
QJ has
Johnston,
gone down
and Worthy
because of
are all kind of the same thing. It's like they don't play the same game, but they're not. None of them are consistent. Worthy's been crippled by Rice and the resurgence of Kelsey in that offense. Johnston has regressed significantly
due to the no O lineman,
and whatever. And then Downs is what Downs is. He's a little guy that catches a lot of passes some weeks, and then other weeks they don't focus on him. They focus on other people. So it's like, I'm not super enthused about any of it, but I'd probably rather hold on to that, because none of that's coming back ever. Whereas like Williams, you might get another shot at that later. So it's probably what I would do. Who's your running back start of the week?
I have Woody Marks versus Jags. Again, talk about ugly things. I'm going back to the ugly thing.
Pretty seriously ugly, yeah. Pretty ugly.
It's just how it is, man. He's getting used.
Yeah, you might get a 2 though.
I know. It could happen, but at the same point, I also don't want to trust a Seattle running back, which would have been my other choice. So I was like, I don't like either of these things. Marks might actually see a majority of the work.
What's hilarious is that mine was actually RJ Harvey. Because all he has to do is catch it, all he has to do is catch something and take it in. But I also saw Charbonnet and was like, Charbonnet, because that's how ugly this is. Once you get past Harvey at 25 in my rankings, and also in the ECR, because he's still sitting at, I did double check that. Once you get past 25, it's all crap I don't want. Charbonnet, Kamara, Mason, Marks, Bill, Bam, Devin Singletary, Aaron Jones, who's probably going to get ruled out, Nick Chubb, who's beat to hell, Bayshall Toot, and Chuba Hubbard. You see how fast it goes into nothing? You get to 25. And in a league, in a league where most teams play 2 running backs, it's really bad. It's so ugly so fast. So this is why I recommend to people in their drafts, Jason, you just keep pounding running back in these drafts. Like, we're just going to figure out tight end and quarterback later because I can. Because I need freaking running backs because there's only like 30 good ones. And once that's gone, it's over. There's nothing left. And I think people get it twisted because they remember those years where it's like, remember when Jamal Charles came out of nowhere? And I'm like, right, because that's how the human brain works. It remembers the outliers. It doesn't remember all the other years because all those other years get slushed together into one big thing. That's how the human brain is designed to work. It remembers things that are special and unique. It doesn't really remember like all the other crap. That all just becomes one big blur. And it's like, and I realized that I could have found a more current reference than Jamal Charles, by the way, if I was really thinking about it, but no, whatever.
Yeah, it's not great.
Who was the guy from a couple years ago that was playing for Jacksonville that everybody was like clamoring to spend all their fab on? Remember that? It was like 3 years ago. I don't even remember the guy's name anymore. Etienne got hurt. They had to bring somebody in, and then it was this guy who played for Jacksonville, and he played really well, and he was like a really popular waiver ad, and he ended up being like something you could use all year. I don't remember the guy's name.
For Etienne?
I think he's like out of.
You're not talking about Tank Bigsby, right?
No. It's older than that.
Okay, I was like, you have to be
years before that.
But you said Etienne, so it can't be that much before. Etienne's only been in
for 3 years.
Yeah. And
I can't remember.
So they had Bigsby last year, and
it wasn't
this year.
It was before that. I'll figure this out, but there's no point in holding up the whole world
while we're thinking about it
to try and remember the name of a waiver ad from, in reality, probably in my mind, because there's also that break because of COVID.
2020, yeah.
It's literally happened in 2020 because every year is the same since then. So it's like it all blurs together. James Robinson is who I'm thinking of, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
James Robinson was like cut, and then he was picked up, and then that was like, so that's the thing. Like, people have a tendency to remember that, and it was literally 2020. God, I knew it was going to be 2020 because that's literally like that was the last time when all the years were separate, and every year since then is just one very long year that just goes on forever. But that's the thing, is that it was James Robinson is who I was thinking of. Okay, and I realize that's a dated reference, Jason, but the original reference was Jamal Charles. So cut me a break here.
You moved up a little bit, yeah.
No, I've moved up about 5 years at least. But that's my point, is that people have a tendency to remember that, and they don't remember, like, it's one of those things where it's like, you got to remember, like, those are outliers that we can find on the waiver wire more often than not. Running back is just a dumpster fire. So there you go. Who was your start for running back? We covered all that. Who's your sit for running back?
Trevion Henderson, because I'm nervous. with Terrell Jennings being there, the usage is fine for Henderson, but they're not getting him out to the edge. They're trying to run between the tackles. He doesn't look good, and surprisingly, Bucks are actually pretty decent against the run. It's like the one area that they're strong in.
And for me, it's going to be whoever plays running back in Tampa. Doesn't matter who, because it's one of two. You're either going to get Bucky Irving, that clearly is still not entirely healthy, which is scary. So you don't know what to do with that. You don't love that. Considering how hurt he must have been to still not be practicing even after the bye, after missing multiple games, something's wrong with that. And then we saw what's happening now to White. They're starting to mix in Sean Taylor, because as we've seen,
Tucker,
White's just not efficient. He's good enough to play in the NFL. It's just
he's better at pass catching. And
he's much better at pass catching, and he's good at pass pro, but he's not an efficient runner. Is the issue with him? So he'll play in the NFL for a very long time, and he'll be around forever, like, because he can catch and he's reasonably fast and he could do pass pro. But the idea that he's going to be like a starting running back, that's done. We're done with that. Even Tampa's done with that, because next year he's not going to be on Tampa. They've all but said that. In fact, you can go look it up. Rachaad White himself was already talking about it on Twitter, that he's not going to be around in Tampa. So they're going to use the crap out of him, but he's no good to them if he's hurt. So there is a limit, and he's just not a good runner of the football. The other guy's not either, but not Bucky. What's his name? Sean, whatever his name
Tucker.
is. Taylor, John
Tucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean don't matter.
The other first name for a last name.
Sean don't matter long term, but that's what it is. All right, and then so we covered that, and then let's see.
Want to do
Daniel
questions?
wants to know Etienne or Tracy.
Etienne. Not close.
It probably should be. He's looked like doo-doo.
Oh, Houston's also been really good against the run too, but Tracy's.
I'm gonna play Etienne. I object to the not close, but it is Etienne. Want to drop Stafford, pick up Dart, but I have no room because I filled my bench with Bucky on IR. But Sleeper is kicking me because Bucky is questionable for now. That's not a question.
Yes, we would do.
I guess technically he never stated it was a question. He just made a statement. So I guess I'm inferring that it should be a question. Technically, it's not.
What do you drop
saying
Stafford
that he wants
for Dart?
to do that, but he has no room because he's got Bucky in the IR. So I think what he's saying is that he can't make any roster moves until he can get Bucky onto his team. And there's no way for me to answer that without knowing what the rest of his team is. See my point?
Yeah, you can drop probably any of your wide receivers, or if you have Isaiah Davis, I'm fine dropping that now with Hall sticking in that job. Like,
I'd rather not just sit here and guess. A million names. Can you? I mean, you're here. Like, can you? If you want, we will pick someone for you to cut. Can we just get like a list of names? Would be incredibly helpful, and then we'll kind of talk you through that. While we wait for that, Robert is asking.
Nope.
Half point PPR, Mariota or Mills?
I have Mariota higher still.
Yeah, I also have Mariota higher. I just find it funny that the people do that to us, and I find it very funny. We did that. And Tamara, I'm telling you, it's been my description for a long time, is that every year since 2020 it's just been 1 year. It's just one very long year. That's all it is. The time has no meaning anymore. It's just one very long year. And it's like broken people's brains. It's something about the side effects of those lockdowns that has like people's perception of time is different. I know it's affected mine. And then the other part of it is, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but people's manners were just destroyed over the course of that. It's like people have forgotten how to, I'm not even saying you got to be nice. I'm just saying like tolerate each other somewhat in public. You know what I mean? I've just something I've noticed where people are just, they just feel like they can just be ruder and meaner. And it's something I've just noticed in the world where I'm just like, yeah, that doesn't really feel like a positive thing for society. But yeah, that's one of the side effects of COVID that I've noticed is it's two things. One, people's perception of time is really screwed up. And that's the way I feel about it. It's just one long ass year. And then the other thing I've noticed is people are just meaner than they were post COVID. It's like people have forgotten how to just kind of coexist. You especially see this at the airport. Although the airport was always a wasteland, but Glitchy hey Glitchy, how you doing? He wants to know Bills or Browns. I am going to play the Browns. That is what I am going to do. Get the question,
Yeah.
but I'm playing the Browns.
Yeah. It's close. I mean, they're not separated by much, but Browns have been playing really good defense overall.
Yeah, they're a really good defense, and they're playing the Jets, who even with the bye week, I don't think are going to be able to do anything.
Here you go. Yeah, he asked me this question already too. So this is all for you.
That's fine. Stafford or Caleb? We're gonna play Caleb. No matter how many times I tell you, you don't gotta write Bijan. You can just write it in. We're gonna play B. We're gonna play Bijan, and then that's a thinker, isn't it? It's Bijan, and then it's Etienne, is what that is. Yeah, it would have to be. Yep, it's Bijan and it's Etienne. And then we're going to play Wandale and DK. And then Bowers. And then 2 flexes out of the remainder. And of that, it will be... That's an interesting one. The flexes are where it gets interesting. Because Kincaid is actually like just good enough to where he would have to be considered weird for a tight end. But I'm not gonna.
So I missed that. When I did it. I missed the fact that DK was on his list. So
okay.
I went right over that and I played Bowers and Kincaid. Because I was like, oh, I'll play both of these. Yes.
Yeah, the fact that I'm gonna play, but I'm not gonna do that necessarily. I'm going to do Addison and Allen is what I'm going to do. Now, I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to sit Allen and play Kincaid, because I have those two separated by literally 5 spots. But that's it. Nobody else really cracks it. So again, just to go through it, it's Caleb, Bijan, and Etienne, and then it's DK and Wandale, and then it's Bowers, and then I would say it's kind of like the last couple are up for debate, because I would probably, if it was me, I'd probably play Allen and Addison, but if you wanted to sit one of either Addison or Allen to play Kincaid, I have 0 issue with that. But that way you're only making one decision as opposed to all of them. So it kind of comes down to how you feel about it. I would probably play both of my wide receivers. But Kincaid is good enough that if you wanted to sit either Allen or Addison, delete is applicable, and play Kincaid, I could get behind that decision. I could absolutely get behind that decision. And then Tamara, you're not the only teacher I know. I've heard that from just about everybody I know who's a teacher. And it's just something I've noticed because my job is to interact with people all day. I'm not a teacher. And Daniel has long suspected that I work for the government, but I don't. But my job literally is to like I it's like from the minute I clock in to the minute I finally get to go home, I literally am talking to people all day. That's literally what I do. And it's just something I've noticed where people are just much more willing to pop off at you than they ever used to be in the past. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's like that, huh? So we're just gonna start saying the things that are in our head to each other. You won't like. I can play that game. You won't like when I play that game. It won't go well for anyone. I work very hard to filter that when I'm on the phone with people because you can't call people a homunculus. Because once they look up what that is, they're gonna be really mad and they'll probably file a complaint against you. Okay, so we've got our answer, by the way, on the Bucky IR question. So here are our choices. He's got Stafford and Jones. He's got Derrick Henry, Rico Dowdle, Mononganai, Rashad White, Bucky at the IR slot, Rome Odunze, Devonta Smith, Xavier Worthy, BTJ, Shakir, McConkey, Gadsden, and Laporta.
I'm fine with White or BTJ.
Okay. I would probably.
Yep.
I would probably cut BTJ.
Okay.
Because it's a school of thought around: do you cut BTJ or do you cut Shakir? Because what you're gonna do ultimately is you're gonna make this move so that you can pick up Dart, right? But then what's gonna happen is that BTJ is likely going to get ruled out. So then you can put BTJ in the IR. So you're either cutting BTJ at this point, or you're not cutting BTJ, and you're probably cutting either White or Shakir, because those are the two things that you might get back. If you're cutting BTJ, you're probably not getting it back. There's three things on this team that might survive getting cut for you to reclaim once people get ruled out, because there's also a chance that Bucky gets ruled out again, and then you're going to want to put Bucky back in there. So that's kind of the issue, is that do you cut one of those guys if you're cutting BTJ, I think at this point you're just admitting you're done with it. So I might be more inclined to cut White or Shakir. The problem is it's difficult for me to recommend cutting White when you might literally be playing White this week. Because you probably, they'd be close. You got Henry, Mononganai. Yeah. I tell you what, I think I lean towards just outright cutting BTJ because it feels terrible, but that's probably what I would do, because you're probably going to use this other stuff. Well, you don't have to do anything.
I know, but like with what you're wanting to do.
Dart,
yeah.
Yeah, if you really are serious about it, my recommendation would be to cut BTJ.
And then Blackburn, Robert saying, thanks for entering. I'm desperate after Jaden for this week.
Oh, yeah, I get that. So Mariota's the answer. There's just not a lot of good options this week, man. It's not the week to be quarterback desperate, so I get it. You could investigate a trade. The problem is that trading BTJ is nearly impossible at this point because no one's going to give you much. Trading Laporta coming off the big game might be something to look at. Trading Dowdle would be interesting, but that makes you very thin. I don't think
Trading
anybody's going to give you
Mononganai
anything
with Laporta to the Swift person for whatever he had. No.
That might be interesting, actually.
I know,
Depending,
but I'm just throwing it out there as like
depends on your league.
yeah.
And I like the penguin. How does a penguin build a house? It glues it together.
Yeah.
I've never actually heard that one before. That's pretty funny. Okay, I got one. I have another. If we'll do terrible jokes, I'll do this one quickly, and then we'll get back to closing out the show. Jason, what's a pirate's favorite letter? Everybody knows this joke. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
Do the end of the joke. I know you know this.
You think it's R, but it's really the C.
That's it. Damn it. Okay, yeah. But the version of that I heard is because the way the joke goes is people say R, and it's like, yes, but their first love is the C. And I never heard that before the other day, and I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I was like, that is so stupid that like I can't believe I had never heard that before. It was the dumbest. It's like the dumbest joke I've ever heard. I don't even know. Where do people come up with that? Like that's so infantile that it caught me off guard. Anyway, Jason, who's your wide receiver start of the week?
Because we've been talking about Dart, it's gonna be Darius Slayton versus the Bears.
I should have gone first.
Bears are really good, real prone to having deep shots taken on them, so works out nicely.
Bears secondary
I know.
is atrocious. They need to do something about that next season. It's really, really, really bad. Their secondary is so bad. It's funny because there's just not a lot of other good options, but I did have a backup plan. So my backup plan, Jason won't like it, but my backup plan is Josh Downs. And I get that it's like not sexy, but let's go through Josh Downs' last 4 games. 11 in PPR, 11, 16, 13, 16. He's playing 65% of the snaps at this point. They are getting him more involved. And he has scored in 3 of his last 4. So they are getting him more involved near the red zone, which is great. After a really slow start to the season. He's made it officially into like flex territory at this point. I know it was an ugly start to the season. The first 5 games were really bad. Weeks 1 through 5. But since then, it's been really good, actually, given what you had to give up to draft him. So it's a tale of 2 seasons that has so far been unfolding for Downs. So, and here's the other thing. The Falcons can't cover the slot at all. Their linebackers can't cover. Guess what? That's all he knows. It's all he knows, Jason, is how to be the shifty slot receiver. He's just a little guy.
Ooh.
He's just a little guy.
After your stumble there, I'm like, oh, you're really gonna go for it. Oh man, this is risky.
Oh, we're good. We're good. We're good. You shifty slut. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah.
I like it. It's fine.
What did I say? What did I say? It's fine. There's like 10 people watching this at this point, by the way, so I don't care anymore. I'm like, that's fine. We're deep enough into this. No, we're deep enough. I need a drink. We're deep enough into this at this point, Jason, where anybody who's still here is a hardcore. So that's fine. We could just. We're transitioning it into roster the people after dark. Is where we're getting to here.
All right. Wide receiver sit of the week though for me is Khalil Shakir versus Miami. because I don't think he's going to have to throw unless Cook is out. And so Shakir's fine,
I'm
but it's iffy for
not
me.
a big. And for me, it's Chris Olave. Go back to the entire show.
Yeah. See,
With me
entire
crapping
show.
Yeah, see the whole show. Yeah, man, go. Yeah, Billy, go do it. See if he'll take it. Because basically, you're trading Monanganai, which is something you got for nothing off the waiver wire, and a backup quarterback, which you were going to cut anyway, for something that he might give up. There's a couple things on that list that I would be interested in. I doubt he gives you Breece Hall. He might give you Emeka Egbuka. If he was willing to do that, I would do that. That would be pretty slick. But it's worth poking around, seeing if you can get a trade done. I don't think you're necessarily going to get anything done, but it's worth taking
a
a
shot.
look. It's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. And Jason, with that, I think it is time to give the people what they want, and let's do the wheel of tight ends, and then let's get ready to get out of here.
All right. I guess with that in mind, we'll move in to everybody's favorite segment, tight end roulette.
Spin the wheel, place a bet. It's time again for tight end roulette.
Presented by Ballpark Franks. They plump when you cook them. Important concept is in no way affiliated with Mark Sanchez or Ballpark Franks.
Now I'm okay. Good. It still popped up. I wasn't sure if that was going to work or not. But we'll spin a wheel because they plump when you cook them. Nope. Starting off with the replacement for Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave. Any interest?
Yeah, no, candidly. I've got him at 23 this week.
Yeah, I really
We've
gotta
seen
see
Luke
something from him.
Musgrave play football.
Yeah.
We've seen Luke Musgrave play football. It's not great.
The winner remains Downs. Or Dobbs. I don't know why I said Downs too.
Dobbs.
Yeah.
Dobbs.
All right. Whoops.
And the real winner is Josh Jacobs, as always.
Yeah. The one
Holds
that
all the
actually
cards.
matters.
I would argue the only important Packer. It's him and Bart Starr.
Ooh, Mason Taylor.
Yeah, that's much more interesting to me. So I have Mason Taylor at 19 this week against Cleveland. Candidly, it's not a great matchup this week against Cleveland, but I will take a moment and reiterate what we discussed before. Mason Taylor's playoff schedule is incredible because the Jets' playoff schedule in general is really easy. If only they had a quarterback. But Mason Taylor plays such a huge percentage of the snaps at this point. He literally plays 90% of the snaps. He's their starting tight end. At some point, I feel like they're going to start targeting him. Am I crazy, Jason? Am I insane?
I mean, I kept thinking that. I've brought him up almost every week, and then I stopped bringing him up because they weren't giving him enough looks, and I'm hoping that is.
And then he had 8 targets before the bye.
Yeah.
So my hope, and then this is the first game since the bye, and then they made all those trades at the trade deadline. So my hope is that this was the wake-up call, was that the 8 targets was like, they take that with them into the bye, and then they say, like, that was working, we should do more of that. So it's something that, like, I don't love him as a streamer for this week, but I don't mind having him on the end of my roster.
Yeah.
You know, like, he is an interesting name to keep in mind because very few of these guys that are in this category play 90% of the snaps. Yeah. Typically, if you play 90% of the snaps at tight end, you're like a top 6 guy. It's really strange. Like, Dallas Goedert does not play anywhere near 90% of the snaps. and yet, so really weird. Keep going. Spin the wheel.
Next one up is David Njoku.
I have him at 22 this week, and I'm not super enthused about the long-term prospects. I honestly believe if he didn't catch that touchdown right before the bye that we're not even having this conversation. Before he caught that touchdown, Jason, we were talking about recommending dropping him.
Yeah.
To people. So
Well, they keep using him, and until somebody else
Kinda.
steps up, we'll see how it goes because it's
kinda. He's only been playing like he's seen his usage decrease dramatically. Some of that's injury related.
yeah, which is what I'm a
But-
little nervous about coming off the bye is that maybe he healed up enough that
The one that you
Pisses it
want
off.
both short term and long term at this point is Fannin.
for sure. All right, let's see.
The
who's
question becomes for the future, long term future, does David Njoku get re-signed in Cleveland? I know he wants to be re-signed by Cleveland. Cleveland seems less interested. And so I don't know. We'll see how that goes for the Dynasty folks.
next? All right, next one up is K. Dotton. And again, it's too early for us to tell on this one.
Yeah, KDOT and I have it 17 this week, but that will either go down or go up depending on practice reports. So I'm going to put a TBD on that one.
Big, just wait and see. Unfortunately, got to have more info. Dalton Schultz.
No.
Yeah,
Every time we recommend this, he flames us and gets hurt or looks terrible. And then when we poo-poo it, he has a great game. So I'm going to poo-poo it, which means you should absolutely go pick up and start Dalton Schultz. Because
Yeah.
we get this wrong every time.
especially since
You and I
it's-
both.
It's likely going to be Davis Mills that's chucking the ball. So we'll see how that works out.
You
for him,
and
too.
you and I both get this wrong every time. He's like the one player that we consistently agree on, and we're always wrong no matter what we say.
Zach Ertz.
Yeah, big fan this week. I'm here for it.
Hard not to be.
Yeah, limited options.
Can't run the
and,
ball.
Can't run the ball, and Mariota's going to need his security blanket, and Zach Ertz is that, very much that. Big fan of that this week. It's a name I like.
Oh, all right. This is going to be fun. Theo Johnson.
It's my number one streaming option this week.
Yeah.
That's what that is. And a lot of that has to do with Chicago.
Yeah, it's again that and Dart. Like Johnson is constantly out there. He's one of the few targets that you'll be able to use however you want, and he's going to him. So, and then of course Juwan Johnson. I still like him.
Yeah, which
Again, you talk about 90% of
great
snaps, baby.
matchup. Yeah, great matchup. Plays a lot of the snaps. His quarterback scares the living crap out of me, and it's a very high risk, high reward type of operation with that. It was fine last week in PPR. He got a 12. It seems to be that he's unaffected by the hideous quarterback play, but you just got to know that like all of that is hanging by a thread.
Yeah.
But I can't hate on it too much because he's got a great matchup, and he, even with the quarterback change, he played the same amount of snaps. He got the same amount of targets. Nothing changed.
Yardage, I think, went down a little bit, but not by much for it to be.
That's not his fault.
Yeah,
And that's not
okay.
even his fault.
It's
like
who's
that's
getting
literally
targeted from.
like he's like the only thing that might maybe be okay. Maybe. Even that's not guaranteed. Which is why I would much rather pick up and play Theo Johnson
Yeah,
or Zach Ertz.
I like all of these options. Like there's a handful that
I
are
would much-
right there flex range for you for tight end.
Yeah, I would rather play Theo Johnson. I would rather play Zach Ertz, and I would potentially rather play Hunter Henry. But that's debatable. The other two I feel good about. Theo and Zach, I would rather do. If we're getting into Juwan versus Hunter Henry, that's honestly a coin flip for me. I might even play Juwan just because. Who else they gonna throw to?
Yeah.
like there's nothing left. It's all gone.
Stripped it for
They
parts,
burned
baby.
it down. Yeah, they scrapped it. All
Yep.
right, play us out.
All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap up tight end roulette.
Spin the wheel, place a bet. It's time again for tight end roulette.
Presented by Ballpark Franks. They plump when you cook them. Import concept is in no way affiliated with Mark Sanchez or Ballpark Franks.
Well, we good with the show? You ready to be done? Daniel. Yes, I did survive having Chipotle for Halloween. It was delicious.
I was gonna call your attention to that. So, yeah, so we're not done yet. Got an important question there for you. It's funny. I never even went. I seriously thought about it, and then I drove by there and I saw the number of cars that were in the parking lot, and I was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with all of that. That means there's going to be a line. There's going to be people in costumes. There's going to be children. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, thankfully there's enough that I was just able to kind of walk in and do my deal and leave, and it was fine.
Oh, there's a bunch around where I live, but I'm talking about the one closest to my house. The one closest to my house is a mix of people that live in the tech center and their families, and then high school kids. So it's kind of a weird mix of people. It's like younger people with younger families and then like high school age kids. So that's all fine. But the other one that's an option for me is like exclusively high school kids. Like it's wall to wall high school kids in there all the time, both working there and eating there. I really don't like going to that place. It makes me feel old and the service is terrible. So it's just like, yeah, I don't want to go to my other option. I'll just eat somewhere else. But yeah, I hope everybody got a lot of candy. And then I hope everybody went for the real holiday, which is November 1st, when all the Halloween candy gets discounted extremely, and then went and bought up all that. Got to do that if you're into that kind of thing. And I didn't really have anything else. Jason, do you have anything else? Do you have comments, questions, concerns?
The one thing that I didn't talk about, but I watched Weapons.
The movie,
on Halloween, and I was pleasantly surprised. I liked it, for the most part, and you have to watch it to kind of understand why. But the premise is,
I saw it.
Oh, you did?
It's good.
Overall, it's good.
Yeah, I was intrigued by the premise.
Yes.
And I wanted to check it out because I had a lot of people recommend it to me, but it wasn't like the usual. There was a lot of overlap, is what I mean. Like I had a lot of people recommend it to me, but it wasn't just like the movie nerds I know. It was like normal people were also saying stuff to me about it, and I was like, I gotta check this out. Once I saw what the premise was, I liked it. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. It's not like I'm gonna go get a weapons tattoo or anything, but I'd recommend it. If you got a Friday night looking for something to watch with the old significant other.
Yeah. You want some jump scares?
Yeah. It's not all jump scares though.
There's a handful, but it's
there's a handful, a few. I don't like the movies where it's all jump scares. Is my main issue. Like that gets boring. But like there's a few and they felt earned.
Yeah. There's definitely build up to it.
Sense. Like, yeah, they like set it up in such a way that they kind of earned it, and it's like, all right, well, I'm good here. I just thought it was kind of an original idea.
Yeah.
And we don't get very many original ideas. So when people were telling me like, oh no, it's a movie that has an original premise, I'm like, well, I kind of feel like I'm obligated to watch this, Like
the next one I want to watch is The Long Walk. That's another original kind of premise.
That sounds familiar. I can't place that.
So it's like a walking. They have to walk consistently, and whoever lasts the longest, I think, gets some kind of prize. And if you don't, you die. Like they kill you.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, the idea sounds fascinating, and it's something original where you get.
For a second, I thought you were going to describe. I thought you were literally just going to describe the plot of the remake of The Running Man,
Oh gosh.
For a second, I thought is where you were going to go, and I'm like, Jason, are you literally trying to tell me that the name of the Running Man remake is called The Long Walk? Because I will leave right now. I will turn this off, and I will go to bed.
Well, isn't there
Um,
the Running Man? Isn't they have that one out already? That's the
it's either about to come out or it is currently out. It's one or the other.
yeah, because it has the guy.
I've seen the trailers for it.
Why can't I think of his
recently,
name?
so I don't know if it's got the. I don't remember his name either. I could picture his face.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't remember his name. He's in a bunch of stuff. He's in a bunch of stuff.
Glenn Powell. Sorry, golly, that was driving me
Yeah,
nuts.
that's him. Yeah, and this is directed by Edgar Wright, so an established director. Might be good.
We'll see.
Like, I'm kind of done watching remakes, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
I've kind of run out of patience for it. Daniel wants to know what you dressed up as, Jason. What was your costume to get your discounted Chipotle?
I dressed up as a Target worker. So red shirt and khaki pants, baby.
I was gonna get myself canceled, so we're just gonna move on.
That's what I could do in short notice. And then I
No,
have a little name tag.
you're fine. I'm just moving on. Don't keep us here because I'm gonna get us in trouble. The other it's funny because I did not, Daniel. I'll tell you what I did. So out here, once the Chipotle line was untenable, I'll tell you what I did. So out here in my neck of the woods, in the mail, I get coupons for Culver's. The mailman just puts them in my mailbox once a month. And I'm convinced he's trying to kill me very slowly with heart disease. Because normally I don't care. Like, we get coupons for all kinds of crap, and most of it I just don't care about, and I'll throw it away. But if you're giving me Culver's coupons, I'm sorry, but I'm not made out of stone. Like, it's like I take those and I like literally put them off to the side because if you're giving me discounted Culver's, I'm going to Culver's. That's happening. Like, we're doing that for sure. So that's where I went on Halloween when the line was too long. I grabbed one of my Culver's coupons out of the glove box and was like, I'm just gonna go to Culver's, and sure enough, line wasn't too bad over there. So I don't know if they do that in other parts of the world, but out here here in Denver they absolutely do. So I found that to be they give out coupons, Jason, for, and this used to be more relevant because like I don't really drink anymore. Only on like holidays, very special occasions, but like they used to give me coupons for the local liquor store and Culver's on the same day. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to fight the mailman. Like, cause I'm on a diet, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm gonna have to like I'm gonna have to like punch the mailman because he keeps bringing me like, I think he's trying to kill me. He's trying to give me like obesity. Like, he's giving me coupons for the liquor store and for Culver's. Like, it's not real friendly, man. Like, some of us are on a diet.
Just
like,
get your cheese curds. You'll be fine.
Can't be going up here every week, you know? Like, so I was like, thanks. Like, I guess, like, anyway. Yeah, I hope everybody had a fun Halloween. I hope they got lots of candy. And yeah, I don't really have any movie recommendations for the moment. I'll try to have some for next week. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to watch movies recently.
Yeah, I tried to watch that same Halloween. I tried to watch Reality and talk about something that just annoyed me. So it's based off of the whistleblower for the Russian voting hack, and like I did not like it because they do like real voices and real recordings, and it's too much dead time. It was horrible, and it has Sydney Sweeney in it, so I was like, oh, I expected this to be at least somewhat good. It was not good. Do not recommend.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah, sorry. I got real pissed off when I watched Weapons. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just go right into this,
Well,
and it'll be.
yeah, that's the thing. Weapons was actually pretty good. So I can't I can't, you know, Weapons was like anything that followed that would probably not do well because that was like a real movie with a real premise, and
Yeah.
some of that other stuff isn't. The movie that Daniel needs to go see, specifically Daniel Eberhardt needs to go see, is the movie that's coming out called Good Boy, which I believe is actually already available for rental. It's the movie, it's the horror movie that is shot from the POV of a dog. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way.
That's high.
So I'll be honest, I have not had a chance to actually sit down and watch it. But I saw the premise and I was like, that seems interesting because it's a horror movie shot from the POV of a dog. And then I saw 90% on Rotten Tomatoes and I was like, I'm gonna have to watch this. But I'm specifically bringing it up to Daniel because I think Daniel will find that interesting, specifically, given his profession.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Do you have any interest in that movie, Him?
No.
It's a Key and Peele movie,
I
so
know. So you
not
should
Key and
like
Peele,
it,
but it's
but
a maybe. But I don't know. That doesn't really. It's not speed, and it's about football, and I'm like, I should, in theory, be excited
All
for
over
this,
it.
but there's something about it just does not speak to me, and I have not really like gone out of my way to like sit down and figure out all that stuff. So that's why I figured I would ask you if you were gonna watch it.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds. I don't know. I want to go see Springsteen somewhat because I like Jeremy Allen White,
Yeah, I
but
have very little interest in Bruce Springsteen.
It's
kind of my issue with that.
Roof Man was another one.
Roof Man might be interesting.
Because it's Channing Tatum, but like the premise is based on a true thing. But
Well, they also don't make comedy movies anymore either.
Yeah.
Like they just don't make comedy movies. So I was like, if they're gonna make a comedy movie, maybe I have to go to it, or pay for it.
Support them and be like, hey, I want to see more of this.
Make more comedy movies, please, because they just don't make this year they've made 2 comedy movies. 2. One is Roof Man, which I don't even know if that's out yet. But the other one, can you tell me what the other one is? Because I can tell you what it is.
I can't.
There was one other it was the Naked Gun remake.
Oh yeah, with Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson, yeah. But that's like, remember when you used to get like a million comedy movies? Like they don't do that anymore. So that's where I was like, well,
Maybe
I mean, if they're gonna make a comedy movie, like I kind of feel obligated to not just like pirate it, but like actually pay money. Yeah, and Daniel brought it up. Him got a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, there's something about that it just doesn't hit the same as some of his other movies. I will say, as you know, Jason, I love my terrible movies.
Okay.
And I especially love the terrible movies that they don't know are terrible. But I have what I think might be the terrible movie pick of the year.
Oh gosh.
Which is War of the Worlds, starring Ice Cube.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I'm not kidding. It's literally H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds, the classic literature piece and movie
by Tom Cruise. Like that one? Didn't they just make that like 20 years ago?
I don't remember if that was a Tom Cruise movie or not. I know the H.G. Wells book, and then there was a movie that was made after that, like in like the 70s. There might have been Okay, Jason, when do you think the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds movies was made?
I thought it was like 20 years ago. Like
Okay,
it felt like
it
it
was.
was recent.
It was 2000. It was 2005.
Nice.
And
was
so they
like-
made that movie in 2005. And
Okay.
yes, it's the same premise. It's because all that's a book. All that's a book.
Yeah.
It's an H.G. Wells book, and it's famous because of the radio
Show.
Orson Welles adaptation of it.
Yeah.
So H.G. Wells wrote it. Orson Welles did the radio adaptation, but they didn't. That's why
They
they
didn't
had
tell
to start
people.
putting disclaimers on things because they didn't put any disclaimers on that, and people thought it was a real, like, news radio broadcast, and people literally started rioting, and a couple people got shot. So, and then obviously they've remade that movie again. They made it in 2005. I knew there was a Tom Cruise version of it. I just couldn't remember when they made it. But then, because they also spoofed that in Scary Movie 4, I want to say,
Probably.
is when they spoofed the Tom Cruise movie. It was 3 or 4, one of those. And because they had the actual robots from the War of the Worlds 2005 movie in it.
Gosh.
Doesn't matter. They've remade the War of the Worlds in 2025, starring Ice Cube. This might be the worst movie I've ever seen. Not literally, because there's way worse movies. But I'm talking about like recently, like recent movie. I'll put it to you this way: that movie makes the movie Battleship seems like Citizen Kane. So it's
Oh gosh.
it's got a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got a 2.5 out of 10 on IMDb, and a 1 out of 5 on Letterboxd. And apparently, from reading some stuff that Ice Cube was asked about, Ice Cube basically just got paid for the day. And he wasn't really like interacting with anyone else. They kind of just gave him his lines that were basically written by AI. And they just sat him in front of a computer and had him. But what's messed up about that is, if you look it up, he's on the cover.
Yeah.
He's on the poster. Like, he's the main thing. He's the main draw. It's him and Eva Longoria are the only two people that anyone's ever heard of in this movie. So there you go. And Daniel points out they are making a new Spaceballs. I don't know how to feel about that, Daniel. Very conflicted on that topic. Because Mel Brooks is still alive. So if they're going to do it, if there's anyone I trust to write a script for Spaceballs 2, it's Mel Brooks, even though he's 90. But it's like, and they're bringing back like all the people that are still alive. So the guy who played Lone Star is coming back. The lady who played Princess Vespa is coming back. She's like coming out of retirement for this. But the lady who voiced Dot is dead, whose name I cannot believe I'm forgetting her name because she's like super famous. The lady who was the voice of the android Dot Matrix is dead, and I know her name. I just can't remember it because she's like a legend of acting. She's like a comedic actress from that time period. She's super famous.
I can't think of the voice. I'm horrible with
John Candy's dead. Has been for a long time. So like, there's a lot of people that are kind of dead that were in that original movie. But everybody who's not dead has already agreed to come back. And by the way, that includes Rick Moranis, who is also coming out of retirement to do this. And I think there's 2 reasons why this is getting made. One, Mel Brooks is 90, doesn't have a whole lot of time left. And I think this is his kind of last ride at making a movie. And then it's Joan Rivers, by the way, Jason.
Oh, okay.
And the other this is like Mel Brooks' like last shot, I think, at making a movie. And then Rick Moranis agreed to come out of retirement. And I think that those 2 data points are why this movie is getting made. But I'm very conflicted about this because that movie is like, in my opinion, it's damn near a perfect movie. And it doesn't need a sequel. Like, why? The whole joke about it was that it's like there's no point to making a sequel to this. Like, but if they literally call it Spaceballs 2: The Quest for More Money, okay,
Might be worth
Okay.
it.
okay. Like, but it needs to be called that. It literally needs to be called Spaceballs 2: The Quest for More Money, and then I'm in. But I don't know how this is gonna work because, like, are you gonna have 90-year-old Mel Brooks play Yogurt again, and President Scroob? I mean, I guess he could do it, but like, he's 90 years old. The temptation with this is that they're gonna want to de-age him or use AI, and it's like that's just not gonna be good.
Yeah.
Like, and it's gonna be rough because you're not gonna have Joan Rivers to work with. Like, is Bill Pullman? Bill Pullman's still alive, right? I thought he was. Yeah, he's still alive. That's what I thought I had heard. Yeah, Bill Pullman's at least still alive, so he can come back and be Lone Star. But like, you're missing Joan Rivers and John Candy. That's like two of the main things. And so it's like, I don't know how to feel about all this, Daniel. It's sort of conflicted. As much as I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'll probably end up seeing it, I don't know. It's like one of my all-time favorite movies that they're trying to make a sequel to. 38 years later, by the way, because that movie was released in 1987.
Yikes.
So 38 years later, we're going to make a sequel. And again, Jason, I'm telling you, if Rick Moranis wasn't coming out of retirement for this, I don't think they'd make that movie.
Oh yeah, no way.
But I think it's those two things. I think it's Rick Moranis agreed to come out of retirement, and I think it's they just know Mel Brooks is 90 years old, and it's like, you don't have a lot of time for this if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because no one else could do it. I wouldn't even try with anyone else that isn't Mel Brooks. It's sort of a miracle that man is 90 years old and doesn't have dementia. Like, he's still around. You ever watch Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, Jason?
Yeah, occasionally. I mean, I think of Betty White though. She was another one who was that age and like with it and still funny. Like some of her best stuff when she was old, real old.
Yeah, real old. But the reason I bring it up is there was a Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Mel Brooks, and this was years ago. And it's Jerry Seinfeld hanging out with Mel Brooks for the whole episode, driving around. Yeah, Daniel, that's what I'm saying. Like, the man's ancient and he doesn't have dementia. He's still around. He still does stuff. But like, in that Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee episode, it seems like in their retirement, all Mel Brooks did was, and Carl Reiner, they just would hang out at each other's houses watching movies all day. They were basically like roommates. They would just hang out and watch movies.
Sounds
It's
like a
like
good
all
life.
they did. Seems decent. That's what Jerry Seinfeld was saying. He's like, I wish this was my retirement. It's just hanging out with my friends, watching movies, and just shooting shit, you know? So it was kind of adorable, honestly. Because, well, they have enough money that they could do pretty much whatever they want,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like, all they really want to do is hang out and watch TV and you know, jerk around. And it's like, all right, works for me. Like, it seemed very cute that's how they chose to spend their retirement. So anyway, Jason, we could sit here and talk about this all night, but let's get out of here. It's time to go.
All right. Well, with that, I will be
Take
back
it home.
tomorrow to help you set lineups ahead of the Broncos versus the Raiders, unfortunately. But we'll be back. I will see you tomorrow. And remember, as always, keep up the nonsense. Have a good night.
Be strong.